On day 1, I spawned in as Black Panther. I only have 4 hearts? That doesn't seem like a lot for a superhero, but I can move quickly thanks to my cat-like reflexes. And it looks like I have vibranium claws too. Neat! Hey look, there's a waterfall right behind me. And there's some kind of skeleton with a giant battle axe? What is he doing here? Uh-oh, are we about to fight? Bring it on! The skeleton ran at me and swung his weapon, but with my cat-like reflexes, I dodged him easily. I ran up behind him and hit him with my claws. These claws were really powerful. Whoa, he fell right over the waterfall. I won! Too bad I can't get any loot from that skeleton because he fell down so far. I really wanted that cool battle axe. I decided to go to the bottom of the waterfall and look to see if I could find it. When I got there, I saw that the skeleton was still standing. He ran at me again, but this time I faced him head on. He was no match. And look at that, he dropped the battle axe. It's not vibranium, but it's still pretty cool. I wonder where that skeleton got it. I decided to take shelter in a cave under the waterfall and relax for the rest of the day. On day 2, I was woken up by the sounds of an angry gorilla. It had come out from the back of the cave and was trying to attack me. I looked at it a little closer and realized that it wasn't an ordinary gorilla. It was a zombie ape. Ah, get away from me, zombie! Don't make me use my new weapon. I ran away from the zombie ape and out into the sunlight where it didn't want to follow me. I guess that it was one of those mobs that take damage in the daytime. It was an undead just like the skeleton I fought yesterday. Maybe they were common in this area. I decided to leave the waterfall behind and follow the river towards the grasslands. Whoa, there are so many animals here. I could see a rhino and a giraffe, and it looked like they weren't zombies. Thank goodness. I guess I'll let them eat grass in peace, especially because I was starting to get hungry too. I saw some berry bushes, so I started punching them to gather food. Once I got enough, I refilled my canteen in the river. Surviving would be a lot easier now, and if I got into a fight, I already had some pretty good weapons. Still, I thought it might be good to build a shelter in case the zombies came out at night. I used the battle axe I got from the skeleton to chop down trees. I soon had enough wood to make a small hut and bed. It was almost nighttime, so I went inside and went to sleep. When I woke up on day 3, I noticed that there was a tree outside that wasn't there yesterday. It was really big and looked ancient and magical. There was a glowing panther spirit sitting in the branches. I made my way over to the magic tree, and the panther spirit started talking to me.
Zozo, this land needs your protection.
Oh, it looked like I was going to get a superhero quest. I stood there and I listened closely.
We are under attack by an undead warlord to the west of the grasslands. He is turning everything into zombies and skeletons. You must stop him.
An undead warlord? That sounded scary, and he was probably really strong. I'd need a lot more than 4 hearts to take him on, but I couldn't just ignore a quest from the panther spirit. The people and animals needed my help too, and maybe there was a way to turn the animals that had already become zombies back to normal.
Journey westward, and you will find his evil lair.
I spent the rest of the day gathering supplies for my journey and practicing with my weapons on any mobs I could find. On days 4 to 5, I traveled from my hut in the grasslands all the way to the heart of the desert. According to the panther spirit, I was heading in the right direction to reach the overlord's lair. Before long, I saw a zombie boar wandering around in the sand. Oh no, looks like the overlord has already turned the animals in the desert into zombies. The zombie boar charged me, and I lost a bit of health. I had to protect myself, so I drew my battle axe and took a couple swings. I'm sorry, Mr. Boar. The fight was over in no time. I spotted an oasis nearby. I had been traveling for a long time, and night would be here soon. I didn't want to be caught outside if more zombies showed up, so I gathered some wood from the palm trees and set up camp. I had just finished my little oasis hut when a genie appeared out of thin air. I thought I was going to get 3 wishes at first, but then he spoke, and I knew he wasn't the nice kind of genie.
Who dares come to my oasis without an invitation?
I said I was sorry and that I just needed somewhere to spend the night, but the genie created a sandstorm, and suddenly the oasis was gone. He may not have granted me any wishes, but he had left an item behind in the sand. I went to pick it up, and it turned out to be a brand new pair of Roadrunner boots. Awesome, now my movement over the sand will be twice as fast. On days 6 to 8, I was still in the desert when I saw a gigantic archway made of bones. There was a skeleton warrior underneath it, and he was carrying an obsidian shield and spear. It didn't look like he was going to let me pass without a fight. I put my battle axe away and got my vibranium claws ready.
You cannot go any further. I am the Skull Guardian, and you can't beat me.
He seemed serious, but I had to try. If I couldn't win here, there was no way I could beat the Overlord. I attacked him, but even my vibranium claws couldn't get through his shield. It was too tough, even for obsidian, and his spear kept damaging me. I was almost out of health. The only thing I could do to survive was run away. Good thing I had those Roadrunner boots. I turned around and got out of there. The Skull Guardian stayed at the archway and shouted after me.
You are too weak. Come back when you are stronger.
Maybe I still needed some more training. While I was running away though, I was spotted by a group of hoglins. I could have easily run away from them, but I was tired of running. I stopped and decided to face them. I took out my claws and defeated each and every one of them. When I defeated the last hoglin, I suddenly felt something inside of me. I grew into an even bigger Black Panther with more hearts. I also saw that the hoglins had dropped a ton of leather. I could use this when I got back to my base. On days 9 to 10, I went back to the grasslands to expand my hut into a base. I used some sandstone from the desert to make it into a small tower and crafted myself a full set of leather armor too. I then crafted a shovel. I felt a pull to this area for some reason, like it was calling to me, so I dug down until I hit some stone. There, I had an entrance to a mine beneath the tower now. I'd have to check it out further later. I built more furniture inside the base. Using wood I was able to gather from a bunch of trees in the grasslands. The one tree that I didn't use for wood was the ancient giant spirit tree. The panther spirit wasn't there, but I was hoping that maybe it would show up to help me again. I definitely needed some advice on how to defeat the Skull Guardian. If I couldn't beat him, I would never be able to defeat the Overlord and save this land from zombification. On days 11 to 12, I was walking along the river when I saw the zombie ape from the cave splashing around in the water. Had it followed me all the way to the grasslands? It really might have, because it noticed me and ran up to attack. I was a lot stronger now though. This ape didn't know what he was getting himself into. Sure enough, I was able to win against the zombie ape that I ran away from on day 2. I looked at the river to see a water elemental emerging from below the surface.
Thank you. That zombie had taken over my home behind the waterfall, and last night it chased me all the way here to the grasslands.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of the river, and I can see that you are a great hero. This land needs a protector, and I'm glad you were here to save me.
I'm not that great of a hero yet. I need to beat the Skull Guardian or I'll never save the animals.
Have faith in yourself. I am friends with the Panther Spirit, and he believes you can do this.
But last time I fought against him, I didn't even damage him, and he almost took all of my health.
The only reason you lost to the Skull Guardian was because he had an enchantment cast on him that shields him from the attacks of the living.
The spirit of the river handed me a potion.
Drink this potion, and your claws will be able to strike true. That should make it a fair fight.
I said thank you to the spirit. If so many beings were counting on me, I couldn't give up. On days 13 to 15, I decided to check out my mine again, but first, I needed to grab my pickaxe. I still felt something drawing me to dig deeper, so I started digging down. Whoa, what's that? It was a strange material. Vibranium! Turns out, there was a lot of it just below the surface. This land must be rich in it or something. Either that, or I just discovered the only vibranium mine around. I gathered a bunch of it and went to my base to see what I could craft. It turned out, I could make a full set of vibranium armor and tools. Super! I have some serious armor now. My base is also looking way cooler. It's tricked out with vibranium walls and minecart rails. I kept the ancient tree protected in its own little courtyard and made sure to give it plenty of water. I also remembered to plant trees around the grasslands so that I get more wood in the future. On day 16 to 19, I was making my way back through the desert when I ran into a group of husks, and it looked like they wanted to meet the Black Panther up close and personal. The husks attacked me, but I fought back, clawing away at them. Take that, you dried out no good zombie, and here's one for you, you wannabe mummy. Before I knew it, I had beaten the whole group, but then I heard something and turned around. There was one more husk, and this one was way bigger than the others. That's a huge husk. I wasn't scared though, and I rushed right in to face him. The huge husk hit a lot harder than his little brothers, but his skin was just as soft as theirs, and before long, he was down for the count too. You know, I was glad those husks attacked me though. It was good practice for my claws, since I knew I'd be facing the Skull Guardian soon. On days 20 to 22, I reached the archway where the Skull Guardian was waiting and challenged him to a fight.
So, you think you can beat me this time?
Sure I can. Watch this! I drank the potion that the water elemental gave me, and now my attacks could actually damage him. I still had to keep my guard up and dodge a spear attack, but even his shield couldn't stop my vibranium claws this time. After several hits, he finally went down and dropped a skeleton key. A skeleton key? Was this thing made from the skull of the guy I had just defeated? Gross. This would probably come in handy later though, so I made sure to take it with me. My journey continued on, and soon I made it out of the desert to a wasteland. I'd have time to explore it soon, but for now, I decided to get back to my base, but not in the way you might be thinking. On days 23 to 26, I decided I didn't want to have to cross through the desert again in case I ever wanted to come back here, so I decided to build a massive tunnel back to my base. I dug down a little ways and then started tunneling in the direction of my base, placing torches as I went. It took a long time, but eventually I got to where I thought my base should be and tunneled up out of the ground. I popped up right in front of my base. How's that for good luck? When I got to the door of my base though, I saw there was a package waiting for me with a note attached to it. This must be from the water elemental. I could tell because it was all wet. The note read,
Dear Zozo, you're doing great. I knew you could defeat the Skull Guardian. Included are some potions that should make your journey easier. P.S. If you're liking the video, make sure you search for other Zozo videos at ZOZO to see more adventures he's been on.
Yep, definitely weird, but when I opened the package, I saw it was full of experience potions. Nice! I drank the potions and felt myself starting to change. I grew bigger and had more hearts too. On days 27 to 31, I upgraded my base to look a little nicer, since Black Panther is a king after all. I started a statue outside too, something that I knew would inspire me every time I came back to my base. I know it's only the very start, but can you tell what it is yet? Next, I laid down some track in the tunnel so I could quickly get back to the wasteland using a minecart. When my minecart ride was over, I exited the tunnel and took a look around the wasteland to see if I could find any sign of the Overlord's lair. That's when I noticed a small village hidden among the rocky hills of the wasteland. The villagers there said they'd been attacked by zombies, and some of them had even gotten turned into zombies.
Our iron golem is supposed to protect the village, but it's been broken for a long time.
Don't worry, I have an idea for how to fix it.
You're the best.
On days 32 to 35, I gathered more vibranium from the mines at my base so I could use it to upgrade the village's iron golem. It would be 4 times as strong as an iron golem would be, so the villagers would have nothing to worry about from invading monsters. I was really starting to get creative at using vibranium in my creations, and I soon realized that the material had another special ability I could use to improve my base's defenses. Vibranium could generate force fields, and with a little bit of tinkering, I was able to make a force field dome around the whole base. Let's see those zombie animals try to get inside now. On days 36 to 39, I returned to the Wasteland Village and used the vibranium to upgrade their iron golem. Now they had their very own vibranium golem.
Hooray! You saved our village!
It sure does feel good to be the good guy. Now I could ask them to help me in my quest. I'm looking for the evil overlord who has been making zombies. Do you know where I can find him?
No one here knows. You should go speak to the shaman of the mountains.
Thanks. On days 40 to 43, I trekked up the snowy mountains and found the lair of the shaman. It was guarded by a friendly snow golem. They didn't bother me, probably because they knew what a hero I was. Inside of a long wooden house was the shaman. They had so many magical potions on their shelves, including ones I had never seen.
So, you must be the one I've been hearing about. I've got an idea for something that might be able to help you in your quest.
I'm all ears.
I'm working on a potion that can turn zombies back into normal animals and people, but I need magic flowers from the jungle in order to complete the recipe.
You can count on me, shaman. On days 44 to 49, I headed deep into the jungle in search of the flowers the shaman needed. Eventually, I saw it, the hill shaped like a skull where the flowers were supposed to be. I fought my way up the hill. Eventually, I got to the top. Phew, that was a tough climb even without a bunch of mutants. No wonder the shaman needed someone to get these for him. And then I saw them. At the very top of the hill, inside the skull, were the flowers. I ran up to the flowers and tried to pick them up, but they were stuck. I couldn't pick them. That's when I realized they weren't stuck to the ground. They were actually part of a giant plant monster. The giant plant monster rose out of the ground, the flower still on top of his head. I don't suppose you'd let me have some of your flowers. But the plant monster didn't want to talk. It wanted to fight. It was a tough enemy. I had to avoid its poisonous plant breath attack and be careful not to get punched by it. It hit super hard, but eventually I took it down and it left one of its flowers as loot. Awesome. Now I can leave this crazy place. On days 50 to 53, I returned to the shaman. I invited them to come stay at my base while they finished the potion. When we got there, I built an area for the shaman to stay and work, complete with a nice big cauldron for magical potions.
Just a bit more fine-tuning and my anti-zombie potion will be complete. Thanks again for getting those flowers.
You're welcome. You could have mentioned the giant poisonous plant monster, but really, I'm just glad to have helped.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Here, take this as an apology.
The shaman tossed something at me. When I picked it up, I realized it gave me a new recipe. It was an upgrade ability for my suit that allowed me to build in some of the vibranium force field tech. Now when the enemies tried to hit me, I could blast them away. Now that's what I call a powerful ability. On days 54 to 57, the shaman and I went into the grasslands and tested the potion on some of the zombie animals. Wow, it actually works! We started turning animals back, one by one, until we got almost all the animals in the grasslands.
We've got plenty of more where that came from back at the base.
I didn't know what I'd do without the shaman.
Watch out!
Suddenly, the shaman pushed me aside. I was about to ask why when a giant beam of pure evil power shot down from above, and in seconds, the shaman was gone. Oh no, that must have been the overlord. He must have been aiming for me. I started to run, zigging and zagging as beams shot down from above. I kept running until I saw a cave and jumped in, just before a beam could hit me. On days 58 to 62, I waited in the cave until I didn't hear any more powerful beams outside. But what I did hear was something deeper in the cave. I turned around to see a spider leaping at me. Time to try out my new force field ability. I blasted him. Looks like it works just fine. I practiced with my new force field ability some more, and when I was sure I had the hang of it, I finally defeated the spider. With the spider defeated, I remembered the shaman and how quickly the overlord's attack had appeared. How was I ever going to defeat him? It didn't matter. I had to figure out a way, since that's what superheroes do. I knew there was still a lot of anti-zombie potion left, so at least the shaman's sacrifice was not in vain. Soon, this land would be safe from zombies. I would make sure of it. On days 63 to 66, I snuck out of the cave and went back to my base, where I gathered up all the anti-zombie potions the shaman had made. Before I left, I wanted to do some work on my statue. I needed something to cheer me up after all that had happened, and I knew a great statue like this would encourage me every time I saw it. So what about now? Can you tell what I'm making yet? I took anti-zombie potions back to the wasteland, and every time I encountered a group of zombies, I used the potions on them to turn them back into villagers. Then I sent them to go live at the village, protected by the vibranium golem. The villagers were happy to see so many people get changed back and sent me a letter to say thank you.
Keep it up. We've got more villagers now than ever before. Our little village keeps growing, just like your number of subscribers. And we hope everyone watching joins your village of subscribers too.
Oh, thanks guys. On days 67 to 70, while exploring the wasteland and saving more villagers from their zombified fate, I finally saw something far off in the distance. It was the evil lair that the panther spirit and the river spirit had told me about. I was sure that the overlord was in there. I could feel it, but it wasn't going to be easy getting to it since I could see that between me and the base was an enormous chasm. It looks like it went all the way around the base with no clear way to get across. I didn't have much time to think about it though, because suddenly I was attacked by a group of zombie apes. You guys again? Haven't you had enough of being zombies? I went to throw an anti-zombie potion at them when I realized I was all out. Oh no! no! I didn't want to fight them, but I was surrounded. It didn't look like I'd have much of a choice. With no way to turn them back to normal apes, I had to deal with them the old-fashioned way, with my claws. There were a lot of undead apes, but I was able to put all my skills and abilities to use, dodging their attacks and rushing in to land my own. Finally, the last of them had been taken care of. Phew, sorry about that, guys. I promise to make sure I have a full stack of anti-zombie potions next time. I could still see the Overlord's base far off in the distance. It was far enough away that it would probably take me a while to reach it, and then I'd have to deal with that huge chasm. I had a plan for that though, but first, I'd need to return to my base. On day 71 to 74, I built my coolest vibranium invention yet, an aircraft with vibranium-powered levitation devices built into the wings. The only thing scarier than a Black Panther is a flying Black Panther. With my new aircraft, I'd be able to fly right over that giant chasm and drop in right on top of the Overlord. Before taking it out to the wasteland though, I decided I should practice around my own base. Alright, here we go. The first test flight of the Wakanda 1 aircraft. It worked! The aircraft lifted into the sky. The Overlord would never know what hit him. I practiced flying around, doing circles around my base, gradually getting further and further away as I got more comfortable. Whoa! I was still getting used to the controls though, and almost crashed into a river. Luckily, I was able to pull up at the last moment, and before long, I had the controls down and the aircraft was soaring like a bird. On days 75 to 78, I flew the vibranium aircraft to the Overlord's lair, passing right over the giant chasm. Wow, from up here, it looks like it doesn't even have a bottom. Good thing I didn't try to cross it on foot. Before I left my base, I had made sure to fill the cargo hold with plenty of anti-zombie potions. Time to save this land from tyranny. From high in the air, I could see a group of zombie apes in the lair's courtyard. I decided to drop a bunch of potions down at them from the airship, turning them back into normal gorillas. I kept raining down potions wherever I saw undead, and soon everything was back to normal. There was only one thing left to do. I landed the aircraft on the roof, which I thought should give me direct access to the Overlord's throne room. I stepped inside the throne room and saw that I was right. There was the Overlord waiting for me.
You dare interfere with my plans? I will make you a zombie next, and then everyone and everything you know will become my zombies.
He swung his weapon at me, but my suit's armor was strong enough to keep the damage low. I blasted him back with my force field and then used my vibranium claws to land a couple good hits.
You cannot defeat me. I am the Overlord.
Watch me. Swung my hardest and knocked him down with my claws. Strangely though, he just started laughing. He started to glow and rise into the air.
You fool. All you've accomplished is releasing me from my zombie body, and soon I will be the mightiest being in the world.
Uh-oh, I may have really messed up here. The Overlord, now a super powerful evil spirit, vanished. It looks like I had just released an even greater bad guy. On days 79 to 84, I used my aircraft to return to the River Spirit. I wanted to see if I could get any answers on how to defeat the Overlord's new spirit form.
Well, the good news is he can't go back into his body now that he's a spirit.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is only full spirits can fight other spirits, and I'm not strong enough alone. Perhaps I could. No, it's impossible.
What? What's your idea?
Well, there is one thing that might work. I'm able to impart some of my river powers on others, but it's far too dangerous. You're not nearly strong enough to survive it.
But if I was able to handle you giving me some of your river powers, could that turn the tide?
Maybe, but you'll need to become much stronger both in body and mind if you want to withstand my powers.
I had to stop the Overlord, and this seemed like the only way, so there was only one thing for me to do: get stronger. It was time to start training. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base and built some new areas where I could start training my body and mind. For physical strength, I built a dojo near the Panther Spirit's tree, complete with dummies that I could practice my attacks on. I had an even better idea for how to make my mind stronger, but to make it a reality first, I had to finish my statue. I completed my statue and stood back to look at it. I thought it looked great and felt mentally stronger just from gazing at the powerful panther emerging from the mountain. But it still needed one more thing. I decided to build a meditation spot right under its mouth, somewhere that I could focus and strengthen my mind. After training both in body and mind, I returned to the River Spirit, but he quickly sent me away, telling me I wasn't nearly strong enough yet. I returned to my base again to train, and this time the Panther Spirit himself appeared in my dojo. He told me that he trained with me so I could get better at fighting even quicker. I had an idea for how to improve my meditation training too. I went back to the statue and made it so that the water would pour out of its mouth, creating a waterfall. I then built an area right where the water hit the ground where I could sit in the rushing water and meditate, learning how to focus even with powerful forces raging all around me. As I sat in the rushing water, thinking about my fighting training, I suddenly felt myself start to change. I grew in size and gained more hearts. Surely now I must be strong enough to handle the River Spirit's power. I returned to the river and met with the spirit again. This time, there was no doubt.
You're ready now. I will give you my powers.
The River Spirit combined with mine, and I felt his power within me. I felt stronger, like my attacks would do more damage since they were infused with water power. And I now had the ability to create water anywhere too. Look out, evil spirit. A hero is on his way to take you down. On days 90 to 94, I returned to my base to get my aircraft when a wasteland villager suddenly appeared. He told me that the evil spirit had sent an army of zombie piglins to invade their village, and they needed help. I hopped into my aircraft and flew to the village as fast as I could. When I got there, I saw that the villager was right. There were zombie piglins everywhere. The village was on fire, and villagers were trying to escape. The vibranium golem was fighting off as many piglins as he could, but there were simply too many for him to handle alone. I fought what seemed like 100 little oinkers, using my new water ability to blast them. Eventually, we beat the last one, but the village had been almost completely destroyed. Villagers who had escaped were badly shaken and afraid. My base was big enough now that I was able to invite all the surviving villagers to stay there permanently. All of the villagers agreed to come, even the vibranium golem. On days 95 to 97, I took the villagers down to my train tunnel and built even more minecarts for them to start going to my base. I flew my aircraft back to the base so I could get it ready for them. I built enough houses for everyone in the same style as their village, and even built farms that looked exactly like their old home. The vibranium golem seemed happy too. He agreed to keep patrolling the new area and defend the villagers if any threats appeared. Just as I was finishing up the last house, I heard the voice of the panther spirit calling to me. I went back to his ancient tree once again.
The evil spirit is waiting for you at the end of the river. It knows you teamed up with the river and thinks if it can destroy the river, it can destroy you too.
Don't worry, I've got this. Together, the river and I are invincible.
Go to the river delta, where the river meets the sea, and there you shall find the evil spirit.
But before I left, he told me that there was one more thing he could do to help me. The panther spirit leapt towards me and absorbed into my body. I felt myself start to change, and I suddenly grew into a huge, superpowered Black Panther. I had a ton of hearts and felt more powerful than ever. Now, filled with the power of both the river and the panther, I embarked on what I hoped would be the quest that saved this land for good. On day 98, I was making my way downriver towards the ocean when I saw the shaman appear in front of me in ghostly form.
Hello there.
Shaman, you're a spirit now too.
Yes, before that ray of evil could kill me, I used my magic to become a spirit. I've been watching your progress, and you've been doing an amazing job. I think you could use some help, though.
I'll take any help I can get. What I could really use now is some moral support.
I can definitely give you that, but it would be even more powerful if everyone watching the video did too, by giving a like and subscribing. The more likes and sub you have, the stronger you'll be when you face the evil spirit.
Wow, thanks, Shaman. I hope everyone likes and subscribes so that I'll be really powerful. And if you like the video, make sure to type Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, in the search bar to see my other adventures. There's a whole bunch of them.
I will do that.
Well, I didn't think you had YouTube, but okay, cool. On day 99, I made it to the river delta. A vast ocean stretched out into the horizon before me. Come out, evil spirit, it's me, and I've got the river spirit to help me. I used my spirit powers to walk on the water, and soon I was standing in the middle of this great sea. A dark shadow rose up from below, breaking through the surface of the water. It was the evil spirit.
You're too late. I will soon eat the river and become even stronger. Then I turn anything that drinks from the river into one of my undead servants.
We will never let this happen. I used my water powers to hit the evil spirit. Then I ran in and started clawing him.
Oh, that does it.
The evil spirit called down his beam of destruction, the same one he used on the shaman, but I was ready this time. There was no way he could win. Not after everything I went through. Not after I came this far. As we battled, I suddenly saw other beams of energy. I looked to my sides and saw the panther, the river, and the shaman spirit standing next to me, adding their energy into mine. My combined spirit beam grew bigger and stronger, and in moments, the evil spirit's power had run out, and he was blasted by the beam.
Impossible. No!
I rushed in, and with one final blow from my spirit claws, I put an end to his reign of evil for good. On day 100, I returned to the base and built myself a royal chamber suitable for a Wakandan king. The land may have been saved this time, but somebody would need to remain and be its protector. And from now on, that would be me.
On day 1, I spawned into the Baobab Savannah as the mighty electric tiger. Well, at least a baby version of an electric tiger. But if I work hard and train, I can live fully up to my electric tiger potential.
Oh, no, you won't.
I looked in front of me and saw a massive, hulking squall golem thundering towards me. He was so much bigger than me, the size difference was terrifying. Listen, mister, I don't want any trouble. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
My name's Mike, and I'm here to fight.
But why? That doesn't even rhyme.
Yes, it does. If I say it rhymes, it rhymes. I'm the strongest creature in the world. Nothing challenges me anymore, and the only way to relieve the boredom is getting into fights with anyone I can.
But
No buts, weakling, or I'll kick yours. Here's the deal. I'm gonna give you 100 days. You better use them well, kid, and get as strong as possible. Strong enough to have an interesting fight with me. 'Cause if you don't, I'm gonna find you and pound you until you're nothing more than a little electric tiger stain in the floor. Now run.
Mike the Squall Golem didn't have to tell me twice. I turned and ran away as quickly as possible, while Mike just laughed at me. He seemed like my most formidable opponent yet. 100 days. I need to get real strong in that time, or Mike really is gonna destroy me. On day 2, I continued running through the Baobab Savannah, not stopping until I was confident that Mike the Squall Golem was nowhere to be seen. Phew, that was a close one. If he'd attacked me in that state, I would have been a goner. I only have 10 hearts. I wonder if I have any special abilities. Without even realizing I could, I released a blast of electrical energy from my paw. The electricity is eliminated from me and charges up the air around me. That must have been one of my basic electric tiger abilities. Whoa, maybe I'm not as helpless as I thought. Wait, do I see a pear tree there? I should grab one. I grabbed a few pears and ate them. Even if my hunger was full, I just couldn't resist it. Things were looking up already. At least I wasn't gonna be hungry. But my contentment didn't last for long. A scary plant-like whisperer rustled its way towards me. It wasn't as big as Mike, but it was definitely freaky. Oh no, I have a feeling I know who you work for.
You feel correctly, Zozo. You really think you can beat Mike? He's the GOAT.
Goat? He's a squall golem.
No, GOAT is an acronym. He is the greatest of all time. GOAT. And that's why you've got no hope against him.
Then why even bother coming after me? I didn't even want to fight.
I'm gonna destroy you myself to save Mike his time.
As the whisperer approached me, I fired my energy blast, but it didn't even slow him down. All I could do was run away, knowing that even with my energy blast, I had no hope of fighting him. I was hiding behind a small clutch of trees when suddenly a wind caller teleported in front of me.
Come with me if you want to live.
Sure, let's go. I'll follow you.
Wow, people normally have questions. Let's go.
The wind caller ran off, and I followed him without question, happy to finally have someone on my side. On day 3, I continued following the wind caller deeper into the Baobab Savannah. He seemed to have confidence and power. It definitely made me feel safer around him.
I've been waiting for you to arrive, Zozo. You have no idea how many people have anticipated this special day.
Special? This doesn't feel that special, aside from you saving my life from all the weird creeps who have been trying to attack me.
Those weird creeps, as you aptly put it, have been bothering people for quite some time. But if you stick with me and my allies, we might be able to change that together.
The wind caller led me to a small shack, leaving me to talk to its inhabitant, a mysterious figure called the Illusioner.
So, you are the one the wind caller selected, You don't appear all that strong, but perhaps that will change.
I still don't understand what's happening here. Who are all of you people? And what does any of this have to do with me or that nasty squall golem Mike?
Wind Caller and I are just 2 members of a secret group called the Order of the Shield. For years, we have made it our purpose to find and train a champion capable of destroying Mike and ending his reign of terror. If you accept this responsibility, we will do all we can to help you realize your destiny.
Well, seeing as Mike is gonna come after me anyway, I agree to working with you.
Good. Go with Wind Caller. There is no time to waste. You must get strong enough to defeat Mike once and for all.
From day 4 to day 5, the wind caller and I went deeper into the Baobab Savannah. We didn't stop until we found an area that was big and flat enough to start constructing a base. First, I knocked down a tree and used its resources to construct a wooden pickaxe. I then mined into the ground and collected enough stone to create my first set of real tools, a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. From there, I gathered more stone and granite and made a basic base with a bed for myself and another one for the wind caller to stay in with me.
You've done great work here, Zozo. You show promise. With time, you will become a great warrior, capable of taking on Mike and showing him what we are all capable of.
I want to get stronger, wind caller, but I'm not sure where to start. How can I become more powerful?
I can help you with that, Zozo. I'll give you a portion of my power, and that will give you a foundation to build on. Stay still, please.
The wind caller fired an energy blast at me. The second it hit me, I started growing, becoming bigger, and had the ability to summon lightning strikes. I tried it out on some grass, and it was fantastic. Wow, I'm really starting to live up to my electric tiger name now. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to explore a new part of the savannah and test out my new powers for real. Energy blasts and lightning strikes. I'm a force to be reckoned with. And those powers would soon come in handy because I saw an innocent fungus thrower being attacked by that nasty whisperer who had attacked me earlier. I'm not gonna let this stand. As I ran in, the whisperer's attention was turned to me and the fungus thrower was able to escape. It was just me and my old enemy now. Hey, you ugly plant.
You again? I didn't expect to see you after you ran off like a coward last time.
I'm no coward whisperer, and I'm about to prove it.
Talk is cheap, tiger boy. Let's go.
I unleashed a powerful lightning strike on the Whisperer, and this time it was completely destroyed. My electric tiger powers were coming in clutch already. Yo, Fungus Thrower, it's safe to come out now. I'm friendly, I promise. When I found him on the beach, the poor lad was shivering from fear.
Dude, that was scary, but also amazing. I thought I was a goner, and then you came in like a superhero, like bam, zow, kapow. It was awesome.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I guess it was pretty awesome.
You're real good at this whole fighting bad guys thing, dude. Tell you what, I know there's a real nasty bad guy not far from here. Follow me, let's see if you can beat him.
Sure, it couldn't hurt to try. Let's go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the Fungus Thrower into the bamboo jungle until we reached a clearing. There, a freaky frozen zombie was waiting. Yikes, that thing seems unpleasant, but a promise is a promise. I ran in and unleashed a lightning strike against the frozen zombie, but it didn't seem to do anything other than annoy this particularly frosty member of the living dead. The frozen zombie chased me, and all I could do was run away as fast as I could. When I'd managed to lose the frozen zombie, I rendezvoused with the Fungus Thrower again. I'm really sorry for letting you down on this one, man, but I just don't think I'm strong enough to take down that frozen zombie yet.
It's chill, dude. You did your best, and that's what matters.
Tell you what, why don't you come and stay at my base while I get stronger? You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to hang out with you some more.
Oh, you're too sweet, man. Let's do it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the Fungus Thrower. It was exciting to have another friend added to my team. Fungus Thrower left to relax while I built a new room for him, along with the rooms for me and the Windcaller. What do you think, buddy?
This looks awesome, Zozo. I can't wait to hang out here. And hey, I got a little restless while you were building the bedroom, so I built a couple of upgrades of my own. Go take a look.
The upgrades that the Fungus Thrower had created were truly awesome. He'd made a beautiful path connecting all the buildings and a storage room for the base, with a furnace that I could use to smelt and forge metal. Say, that gives me an idea. I searched until I found a cave that might contain some valuable materials, and sure enough, right at the entrance, I found a rich vein of iron ore. I mined and collected a bunch of it before going back to my base. Once I was there, I used my furnace to smelt the ore into ingots. Then I made a full set of iron tools. I still had a little left over, so I used that to make an iron helmet and a chest plate. This looks awesome! So I've got shelter and weaponry covered. Now, I need to make sure my food sources are sustainable too. I built a small chicken farm on my base and herded a few chickens inside, so I'd never run out of eggs or yummy chicken. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to my mentor, the Windcaller, and asked him if he knew any other ways I could train and get stronger.
A very good question, Zozo. To become a better fighter, you need to fight and hone your battle tactics. I've heard reports of another one of those sinister whisperers wandering around the bamboo jungle. Go out there and defeat it to grow your strength.
Because everything Windcaller had said so far hadn't led me astray, I followed his advice and went out to the bamboo jungle again. I searched until I found the Whisperer that Windcaller had told me about.
I will destroy you in the name of Mike.
Not if I destroy you first, Whisperer. With my new iron sword, it wasn't hard to battle the Whisperer into submission. When the Whisperer was destroyed, it dropped a potion of strength onto the ground. Perfect timing. I was starting to feel super thirsty. I picked up the potion of strength and drank it, and I felt the change immediately. I started to get bigger, stronger, and my hearts grew to 30. The Windcaller was right. Fighting that Whisperer did make me stronger. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the overworld until I came upon the Cypress Swamplands. It was a strange, mystical place, and the more I wandered around, the more I got the sense that something important was waiting for me here. And that feeling proved to be right when I came upon an ancient book of secrets laying around. I decided that it might be worth reading, so I flipped through until I found a section called How to Defeat Squall Golems. Wow, that's appropriate. A section read, the stony flesh of a squall golem may seem impenetrable. Even diamond swords and the strongest of arrows just seem to bounce off. But if one could obtain a sword of netherite, then the playing field would be evened. A netherite sword? I need to get my hands on one of those then. My moment of victory was interrupted by a pair of whisperers suddenly appearing and wandering towards me. They must have come here to stop me from reading this book of secrets. You overgrown weeds can't scare me. With my lightning strikes and energy blasts, the three whisperers were destroyed for good. From day 20 to day 22, knowing that I needed a netherite sword to truly defeat Mike the Squall Golem, I went back to the mining cave looking for more material. Sadly, I couldn't find any diamonds or netherite down there, just more iron ore. I mined a bunch of it and went back to my base where I smelted it into ingots and made myself the rest of my iron armor. If you can't invest in your attacks, you might as well invest in your defense. My recent increase in strength reminded me of an old unsettled score. I needed to defeat the frozen zombie for my friend the fungus thrower. Time to send that zombie to its eternal resting place. I returned to the bamboo jungle and hunted down the frozen zombie that had given me trouble all those days ago. With my iron sword, I was able to defeat the nasty undead once and for all. It probably won't be long before I'm strong enough to take on Mike and win.
I wouldn't be so sure, weakling.
I turned and saw Mike himself was standing right behind me. I wanted to run, but this time I stood my ground. I'm not scared of you anymore, Mike. I know the secret. I just need to get my hands on a netherite sword. I'm a champion of the Order of the Shield. What's so funny?
You think you're the first champion? You think you're the only one who knows about netherite swords? I've destroyed 100 foolish champions like you, and you'll make it 101.
Mike punched me, taking off a frightening number of hearts. All I could do was run for my life. I was clearly still not strong enough to face him yet. From day 23 to day 26, I went back to my base and informed the fungus thrower that I defeated the frozen zombie of the bamboo forest.
Way to go, Zozo! You've no doubt achieved a whole new level of strength from that battle.
And I plan to get even stronger now that I was able to fulfill my promise to you.
Oh yeah, buddy. I know you can.
I knew that I needed stronger materials in my inventory if I really wanted to work my way up to that netherite sword, so I went digging for more iron in my mining cave. While there were still no diamonds to be found, the iron ore was plentiful. I helped myself to as much of the iron as I could carry and smelted a bunch of it down into some more ingots. I made a temporary smelting location to smelt the iron while I mined. I already had a set of iron tools and armor, so out of all the iron, I made an anvil so we can repair our gear when it loses durability. My pickaxe can be the first candidate to get repaired. Once I was done mining, I went above ground to my base where Windcaller was waiting for me.
Zozo, I've given the base a new addition that will be sure to keep you safe while you build up your strength.
That sure is nice of you.
Consider it my thanks for all the hard work you've put in so far.
I went to see what the Windcaller had added to the base and found a well-constructed security bunker to hide in case of invasion. This looks like it will come in handy. From day 27 to day 31, I was far away from the base, exploring the cypress swamplands when I had first learned about the existence of netherite swords. If I remember my last visit correctly, I also defeated a couple of whisperers while I was here. The whole area looked totally peaceful now, without any of Mike's minions to be seen. As I was taking in the pleasant vibes, I was approached by a kindly Fletcher, who seemed rather happy that the swamplands were free of baddies.
Wowee zowie! You must be Zozo the Electric Tiger. I heard you took down those whisperers some days ago.
That's me. I'm the toughest and only electric tiger around.
That's wicked awesome. It's good to know that there are people out there looking for strength who are also nice and willing to stand up for the weak.
I will do my best to help those in need.
I heard there were some other whisperers skulking around and looking to challenge you. They must really want to stand up for that Mike guy.
I can take them. Do you know where they are?
Not right now, but they'd probably hunt me down and try to beat me up if they knew I told you that. Then they'd be right here in the swamp again.
I know. What if you stayed at my base for a while? At least until I have my match with Mike. That way, I can protect you. The Fletcher agreed, and together we went back to my base where I added a base extension. I made a small outdoors library with a few couches to have a nice cozy place to relax. The books that I put on the shelves would teach me strategies and techniques for winning battles. Because knowledge is power. Later, I was approached by Windcaller, who had some bad news.
Zozo, we have to come with you again. Mike's minions have discovered the Order of the Shield and are attacking its members. We need to check on the Illusioner before he could be next.
Oh no, that sounds serious. Let's go! From day 32 to day 35, Windcaller and I crossed the Baobab Savannah to reach the Illusioner's shack. When we found the place, it was too late. The shack was under attack by a Whisperer, and the Illusioner was desperately fighting for his life.
You Order of the Shield fools can't win. Mike makes right. The saying is might makes right. What you said is just silly. You're calling us silly? Just for that, you're going to die.
The Whisperer destroyed the Illusioner right before our eyes! You monsters!
Talk about pathetic. Is this all the Order of the Shield is made of?
You're dead wrong. I'm Zozo, the electric tiger. I am the champion, and I'll show you how strong I am. I called down a lightning strike, getting the Whisperer's attention and dealing a bunch of damage in the process. With a few swings of my iron sword, I made that Whisperer pay for what it did to the Illusioner. More Whisperers emerged from the edges. I was so angry, I didn't even need to use my energy blast to bring the pain and take them all down. When the battle was over, Windcaller and I planned what our next move would be.
We need to be on the lookout for any other mobs that are working for Mike.
Curse him! We were too late to save the Illusioner from his rampage!
We'll keep an eye out for the other surviving members of the Order of the Shield, and once we're together, we'll help you become the strongest champion you can be.
From day 36 to day 39, I returned to the bamboo jungle so I could practice all my most powerful fighting moves in a safe place where none of my friends would get hurt. I was tossing around energy blast when I blasted away some bamboo and found an iron golem hiding nearby.
Whoa, easy with those blasts. You could knock somebody out with those.
My apologies, I didn't know you were here. Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
Oh, no, it's okay. I actually have been searching for someone strong enough to defeat the ruthless roaming Ravager.
If it's a worthy opponent that gives me a chance to test my skills, then I'm 100% game. Where is this Ravager anyway?
I'll show the way, almighty electric tiger.
I was brought to another part of the bamboo forest where the ruthless roaming Ravager was running around. It was my time to bring that bad boy down. I fired some energy blasts from my paws, and the Ravager responded by jumping over to me and making a few attacks. I countered with my iron sword. The battle raged on for a while, but I knew from the start I would come out on top. And I was right! I returned to the Iron Golem to tell him that I had successfully defeated that rascally Ravager.
Ha, you really are one tough tiger.
That's for sure. From day 40 to day 43, I was in the base and decided to see how the fungus thrower was doing. It looked like he had been hard at work decorating the base with all sorts of tiger-patterned banners and paintings. This base looks absolutely awesome now. Good job, Fungus.
I'm glad you like it. I was just sprucing the place up in preparation for the pigs I invited over.
You invited pigs?
Yep, I invited some pigs because I thought they might enjoy themselves here.
That's a bad pun, but not a bad idea. I say yes.
Hamtastic! I mean, fantastic!
The pigs that Fungus Thrower invited arrived soon after and were the life of the party. I even got to train my defenses against their classic pig pile technique. After entertaining our fine piggy guests for a while, I went for a walk out in the base and ran into Fletcher. Everything all right, Fletcher?
I'm worried about my home back in the Cypress Swamplands. Do you think you could go check on it just to be safe?
Sure, buddy. It's the least I can do for a friend. From day 44 to day 49, I went back to the Cypress Swamplands like Fletcher wanted me to. I was expecting there might be a few whisperers milling about, but I never imagined that I'd see Mike himself.
What up, Tiger? Ready to take another shot at the big man?
Mike, this should be between you and me. What you did to the Order of the Shield was unforgivable.
Nah, no way. I've been beefing with those bozos since long before you showed up. And if you're the chosen champion they kept talking about, then I had to take them down before you become any stronger.
So you did it because you're afraid I'll get stronger than you? Well, now you've made sure it'll happen. I will beat you, Mike, one of these days.
You want to make this personal, huh? Alright, let's make it personal. See if you can take on my man, the Piglin Brute.
To my surprise, Mike ran off and stuck me fighting with one big mean mob that he called a Piglin Brute. It sure did live up to its name.
I'm about to show you why they call me the Piglin Brute. Because I'm brutal.
Yeah, I already got that.
Put up your dukes, electric tiger.
He slammed me with an attack that was definitely brutal, but thankfully my iron helmet was able to soak up some of the damage. I traded blows using my sword and started to wear him down, but the knockback of his attacks was giving me some trouble. This will be a tough fight. From day 50 to day 53, I had started to use my energy blast to continue to deal damage to the Piglin Brute. He didn't show much signs of tiring, but then again, neither did I.
I can see why the Order of the Shield was impressed by you, but you can't really be the champion who will defeat Mike because I'm about to take you down.
Wouldn't bet on it, Brute. I launched a couple of strikes at the Brute, then I hit him with my sword and knocked him off balance so I could defeat him with some classic Electric Tiger Energy Blast. Bye-bye, Brute. You were my biggest and meanest opponent yet, but I've won this round. The Piglin Brute disappeared, and I soon found an item that he dropped. It was a map leading to Mike's Fight Club. This is quite a discovery. I didn't know whether Mike expected me to find this or not, but either way, this meant that I could go to his base whenever I wanted. From day 54 to day 57, I cleared the cypress swamplands of all remaining hostile mobs so that Fletcher wouldn't have to worry anymore. The last one in the area was especially tough, a Vindicator who could take a lot of hits from my iron sword. I really had to stay on my guard the whole fight, relying on my new combat strategies that I had been practicing. Sure enough, I was able to win with plenty of hearts to spare. The Vindicator even dropped a netherite ingot, which was the first step to the netherite sword that I'd need to defeat Mike. I quickly returned to the base to tell Fletcher the good news.
So, the swamplands are safe?
They sure are.
You mean that you found a netherite ingot just like that?
I sure did. That's some kind of coincidence, huh?
It's no coincidence, it's a sign. You are meant to be the champion of the Order of the Shield. It's your destiny.
Well, in that case, I better make the most of this chance and get some diamonds so we can eventually make a netherite sword.
You can do it, Zozo.
From day 58 to day 62, I made a much-needed expansion to the chicken farm so that it could hold more livestock. It was just in time, too, because I was able to round up more chickens for food. An electric tiger's gotta eat to keep his energy up, and delicious chicken tenders are what's on the menu. Next, I delved down to the mining cave to have another look for the diamonds I would need to craft a diamond sword. I had to explore pretty deep, but soon enough, I managed to get my pickaxe into some diamonds. There's many diamonds here. I might believe in destiny after all. I mined for a while and found more than enough diamonds to make the diamond sword, which I planned on using as the foundation for the netherite sword I'd be making later. I used the rest of the diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe and a full set of diamond armor for myself. Once I was satisfied with the amount of diamonds I had amassed, I returned to the surface of the base and met up with Windcaller. Hey, Windcaller, I've crafted a diamond sword.
That's excellent, Zozo. We should celebrate in the brand new super amazing party room that I just built.
Oh wow, no way! A party room! I love parties! While I had been down in the mines, Windcaller had given the base its most exciting feature yet, a decorated room for hosting parties. I tried out the dance floor and had a really good time. From day 63 to day 66, I was hanging out at the base with Fungus Thrower, discussing ways for me to become even stronger. If I could train in a new location, maybe I'd be able to discover some new fighting moves.
I actually know just the place. If you train in the harsh sunlight of the desert, you'll increase your strength in no time.
How do I find the desert?
I'll show you the way on your map.
The Fungus Thrower marked the desert as a location on the map I received from the fallen piglin brute. It looked like it was on the way to the biome where Mike's fight club could be found. I should get used to that path while I'm out there. I went to the desert and felt the sun beating down on me. This would be a good place to train, and I was in the mood for a fight with a scary opponent. Across the dunes, I saw one scary-looking wither skeleton. I moved towards him with my sword drawn, ready for battle. Hey you, wanna fight Zozo the electric tiger?
No thank you. I don't want to fight, especially not a tough customer like you.
Okay, I can respect that. We won't fight.
Did you think just because I'm scary looking that I'd want to fight? You really shouldn't judge people by their outward appearances.
Yeah, that was my bad. I'm very sorry about that, friend. Lesson learned.
It happens to me a lot, I'm afraid. Just the other day, a Zoglin tried to pick a fight with me. I told him, no, wait for a strong person who wants to fight.
Well, if that Zoglin wants a fight, I'll fight him. I came here to train anyway. From day 67 to day 70, the friendly wither skeleton brought me to meet the Zoglin, a dangerous opponent who was also looking for a challenging fight. The Zoglin agreed to fight me one-on-one so we could test each other's strength. Before the fight began, the wither skeleton took me aside so we could have a quick discussion.
Are you sure you can win, Zozo? I didn't mean to put you in danger.
I think I've got a chance, but thanks for being concerned.
No, thank you for fighting this battle for me.
That's what a strong person does. Now I'm gonna go kick some Zoglin butt. The fight between myself and the Zoglin was off to an exciting start when the Zoglin charged straight at me. I dodged his powerful tusks and hit with my sword while his back was turned. The Zoglin countered by hitting me with his tusks. I lost a few hearts, but I was still in the fight. I fired some energy blasts and used my signature lightning strike to deliver the last blow, defeating the Zoglin.
Zozo, you did it!
I am the Electric Tiger Zozo! Remember the name! From day 71 to day 74, I had completely left the desert behind and was traveling through a new biome, the Eroded Badlands. According to the Piglin Brute's map, this was the same biome where the entrance to Mike's Fight Club could be found. The map also says you can find more of my Zozo videos by searching Zozo in the YouTube search bar. You should try it out. I followed the directions on the map further into the eroded Badlands, and I could see Mike's fight club in the distance. Just you wait, Mike. I'll fight you one of these days.
I heard that, Zozo.
Suddenly, Mike was right next to me, and he was looking as strong as ever.
You shouldn't have said that, Sparkplug. Now I'm gonna give you a taste of my super special punch, the Mike Spike.
Oh no, I forgot that today is one of those days.
Mike Spike!
He punched me, and my heart started to deplete. Thank goodness I was wearing diamond armor. I drew my diamond sword and swung at him, but the damage it did was really low.
You're still weak, kitty cat.
No way! Will I need a netherite sword to even stand a chance? I ran away from the fight, retracing my steps through the eroded Badlands. I still wasn't strong enough to beat him. From day 75 to day 78, I followed the map home to my base and went directly into the bunker to work out. Somehow, I couldn't find the energy to train, probably because I was disappointed that I had to run away from Mike. Mike was the strongest in the world, and I still didn't have the netherite sword I would need to actually challenge him. From what he said before, even that might not be enough.
Cheer up, Zozo. You have our strength too, so don't give up.
It was Windcaller. He had come into the bunker to check on me and raise my spirits. Thanks, Windcaller. I'm feeling like I'm weak today, so I really needed to hear that.
Follow me. I'll show you something that might also help.
There was now a new watchtower at the front of the base where we could look out at the Baobab Savannah from. All of a sudden, I feel a whole lot better, Windcaller. Now I remember what I'm fighting for.
You are the champion, Electric Tiger Zozo. Don't forget it.
Now that I was feeling better, I went to go visit Fletcher. Hey there, Fletcher.
Zozo, I got you this special magic apple to help make you strong enough to face Mike.
Well, an apple a day, as they say. I scarfed down the apple and began to grow into an even bigger electric tiger with 60 hearts. In addition to bigger damage and more health, I could also perform a special whirlwind attack. Mike won't know what hit him. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling strong and decided to go back to the eroded Badlands. This time, there was no sign of Mike, so I fought some skeletons to test my newfound strength. I wanted to prove to myself that I had what it takes to become the strongest. A nearby weaponsmith saw me defeat those mobs and thought that I was pretty cool, so he offered to upgrade my weapons. This is my chance to get a netherite sword.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just give me your diamond sword and your netherite ingots, and I'll take care of the rest.
I gave the weaponsmith what he needed and waited in anticipation for him to finish my super cool netherite sword. It didn't take him that long, and I could tell just by swinging it that this netherite sword was the most powerful weapon that I'd ever had. Thank you, weaponsmith. I promise to use what you've given me for the side of justice.
Go on and save the world. Every weaponsmith dreams of creating a hero's weapon.
From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the base to show the others that I had obtained the netherite sword and found that it was being attacked by whisperers.
So this is where you ran away to, coward? We're gonna make you feel real silly for leaving Mike in the middle of a fight.
I battled the whisperers with all my might, testing the edge of my netherite sword. These minions had given me trouble in the past, but now I was so much stronger than them that they were barely a threat. I easily defended the base and prevented any further damage to the structures.
Oh man, this guy is actually way too strong. Maybe I should leave this one to Mike. He'll know how to win.
Intimidated by my strength, the whisperers stopped fighting. It was now their turn to run away. Serves you right for trying to mess with my friends. You'll have to deal with this electric tiger now. I chased the whisperers through the Baobab Savannah until my base was far away. Never come back! A villager who saw me bravely face off against Mike's henchmen came over to cheer me on.
You're the electric tiger, the second strongest being in the world.
Soon to be the most strongest, or first strongest, whichever sounds better.
Do you think you can spare some of your strength and give me a hand building a bridge over the river?
Sure thing, villager. I used the materials the villager gave me to finish building the bridge across the river.
Thanks, Zozo. Only a truly strong hero could do something like that.
From day 90 to day 94, I continued onward across the desert and through the eroded Badlands until I saw on the map I was getting close to Mike's arena. I could see one of the whisperers who had attacked my base lingering nearby, and I drew my netherite sword in preparation for a battle. I'm here to see Mike. I'm going to challenge him for the title of strongest being in the world.
Oh, no you didn't. You're gonna need to get this guy first. He's the second strongest in the whole world.
an armored pillager showed up, taking the place of the Whisperer as my opponent.
I've heard people say that you're the second strongest in the world. Not true, because that's me. I've never beaten Mike, but I'll beat anyone who isn't Mike.
You won't beat me. I'll take your title, then I'll take on Mike.
Then bring it on, Zozo the Electric Tiger.
The armored villager waited for me to make the first move, which I did, using my netherite sword. He blocked the attack and countered with a strike from his own weapon. I lost quite a few hearts and had to dodge back to avoid the worst of his attacks. I used my energy blast to keep him at a distance, but his armor was as tough as mine. You're pretty strong, pillager.
Are you ready to give up and run away?
No way. I'll never back down from a fight again. From day 95 to day 97, I continued to battle against the armored pillager, utilizing all my specially trained techniques to try and gain an advantage. Have another lightning strike.
I can handle your lightning strikes all the livelong day, Zozo.
We'll see about that. I circled around the armored pillager with my whirlwind attack and delivered sword strikes wherever I could. I was still having trouble cracking the second strongest fighter's armor, but I figured I could soften him up for a lightning strike if I just kept attacking. With my whirlwind active, I spun around and unleashed my lightning strike. With that attack, the pillager surrendered. The electric tiger defeated the armored pillager and became the true second strongest in the world.
No, I couldn't achieve my dream of becoming the strongest in the world.
Why did you want to become the strongest so bad? I'm doing it to protect my friends and myself from Mike.
It started that way for me too, but when I realized I would never win, I became his follower. All the people who believed in me before became sad and stopped being my friends, but they went on to form the Order of the Shield.
Wait, you were the original champion.
No, I was just the guy who tried to be a champion before there was a champion. You've got to be better than me, Zozo.
I will, armored pillager. I'll defeat Mike and become the strongest in the world, once and for all. On day 98, I went back to the base to tell everyone that I would soon be facing off against Mike for the ultimate title. I went to visit Windcaller first, who was standing at the top of the watchtower. Thanks to the strength you gave me at the start, I was able to become the champion that you always thought I could be.
It was like I said long ago. My strength was the foundation, but you built it into something better and made it your own.
Thank you for believing in me.
Here is a bit more of my strength in the form of a potion. Drink it before you go into battle.
Next, I met with Fletcher outside of the chicken farm. I wanted to assure him that once I was the strongest, I would use my strength to protect all of the biomes from evil.
Very soon, the world will be safe. I'm glad I was able to help your quest for strength, Zozo.
You gave me what I needed when I needed it most, and I'm so grateful that I was able to meet you.
Make the most of your magic powers. The special techniques will be the key to victory.
After Fletcher, there was only one last friend to thank, the fungus thrower, who was chilling in the party room.
This room is the best room. Other than a mushroom, of course. That's a fungus.
I look forward to hanging out after I beat Mike once and for all. It'll be a big celebration. On day 99, I made my way back to the eroded Badlands and saw the first glimpses of Mike's base. I approached, and there were the Whisperers waiting to stand in the way. Move aside, small fry. I'm here for Mike. You guys don't need to be involved. The Whisperers bolted for the hills, and I ran straight into Mike's base. On day 100, I walked into Mike's fight club with my netherite sword drawn. Mike, I'm here to fight. The big golem himself, Mike, appeared before me in order to fight.
Zozo the Electric Tiger, you fought all the other strong people in the world, and now you think you can steal my crown.
I do. I'm gonna make sure that you are put down for the count.
Lots of people have said that to me before, and I've beaten them all. I didn't get to be the strongest because I made excuses. I just kept fighting and winning.
But you didn't fight the Whisperers when they started going after the Order of the Shield. You didn't want a champion to fight you.
I don't care what those weaklings do or what fights they get into. All that matters is the fight between me and you. That's how it's always been, destined champion. Let's do this in a place worthy of this showdown.
Mike left, and I ran after him. He turned into his fighting arena. I followed him in when he hit at the entrance and slammed his golem fist into my body. It was the Mike Spike, his signature opening move. I drew my netherite sword and dealt some real damage to him for the first time. I followed up with a whirlwind and a lightning strike. Mike threw me across the fight club. Then he jumped and slammed onto me, dealing a lot of damage. He tried to attack again, but I hit him with an energy blast. He caught him off guard, and I was able to land a bunch of other energy blasts after. Then I remembered to drink up the strength potion Wind Color gave me. I felt much stronger now. As we stood there, swinging away at each other, hit after hit, I was wearing the golem down. Eventually, one of us fell. Mike actually dropped. Yes, Zozo the Electric Tiger wins! I had completed the 100-day challenge to defeat the strongest being in the world. I had won! On day 1, I spawned into the treacherous wooded badlands as a tiger snake. Whoa, this has got to be one of the weirdest creatures I've ever seen. Shame that I've only got 10 hearts though. I started slithering around, trying to figure out what exactly it meant to be a tiger snake. But my exploration was interrupted by the sound of someone hacking down trees. Uh-oh, they sound strong. Boom! A huge bandit warlord burst from the tree line. He was so scary, and he didn't look like he was here to wish me a good morning.
Oi, what do you think you're doing, mate?
I'm not sure I was doing anything. I'm Zozo. I just got here.
Do my eyes deceive me? Are you some kind of snake tiger?
Technically a tiger snake, but pretty much.
That's not fair. Combining a tiger and a snake? That's OP, mate. I can't let that stand. So me and my oogly boogly boys are gonna have to chop you into pieces.
You'll have to catch me first. I slithered away as fast as I could, which, lucky for me, was actually really fast. I managed to outrun the bandit warlord by weaving through the badlands, but he wasn't the only one after me. I saw barbarians running behind me, trying to catch me. They were fast, but I was still faster. If those guys caught me, I knew I'd be doomed. In the end, I was able to get away by the scales of my teeth and hid. I'd figured out why the bandit warlord and his oogly boogly barbarians wanted to kill me in the morning. On day 2, I started to further explore the wooded badlands. So a gang of really scary dudes are after me, and I don't really understand why. I've got to think my way out of this, but it's hard to think when hunger is nearing. I slithered around until I found a nice apple tree, which I used my tiger snake strength to knock down, collecting all the wood and yummy apples. Love the apples, love the crunch, but what am I gonna do with all this wood? That's when I had a brilliant idea. I'd use that wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and start mining myself some stone. With that, I made myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And I couldn't have had better timing, because a barbarian suddenly appeared.
Yeah, there you are. We've been looking all over for you. If I'm the one to destroy you, the bandit warlord will promote me to second in command. I'll be way better than that jerk, the brigand.
Sorry to rain on your career aspirations, barbarian, but I'm not gonna let myself be a step on anyone's ladder. I attacked him with my stone sword, slashing away. It was a tough fight, but before I knew it, I defeated my first enemy. Maybe the bandit warlord was right. I might be a little OP. I spent the rest of the day mining more stone and building myself a basic house with one room and a bed, so I could finally get some rest. On day 3, I decided to go exploring, seeing if I could find some more materials in other biomes. That's why I slithered into the beautiful cherry blossom forest. Wow, this place is gorgeous. I kind of regret not starting to build my base here, but I soon found there was a good reason why I shouldn't have made my base there. It was home of the bloodthirsty brigand, one of the bandit warlord's deadliest henchmen.
So you're the tiger snake. When the warlord told me about you, I was expecting something much more impressive. Not just a sad little malformed freak.
Oh, you're so going down for that, dude! But as much as I wanted to defend my honor, the brigand was just too strong. I couldn't fight him. I could only give up, turn around, and run away to survive. That was so embarrassing. I can't believe I got defeated like that. I still need to get so much stronger.
I believe I can help you there, young warrior.
Who said that? I turned and saw a majestic desert wolf step out from between the trees.
I sense greatness in you, Zozo. I am a guide to those with the potential to be warriors for good and justice. With my training, I believe you can become as strong as you are meant to be and bring an end to the bandit warlord's empire of fear.
That sounds like exactly what I need. Come back to my base with me, Desert Wolf. We'll talk more there. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with the Desert Wolf. I decided to build him a house right next to mine, so he could come and talk to me anytime he liked.
I find your eagerness to begin your training to be incredibly encouraging, Zozo. Thank you for building me my own room.
Of course, Desert Wolf. Just let me know if you need anything. I left the Desert Wolf alone to meditate in his room, but while I was chilling outside, admiring the construction work I'd done, another barbarian came running towards me.
Tiger Snake, I will annihilate you in the name of the Bandit Warlord!
But thankfully, he didn't annihilate me. Instead, I pulled out my sword and annihilated him. When he was gone, he dropped a bow and a few arrows that I picked up. Finally, I have a good long-range attack. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to build a little pen for my sheep so that I could collect wool later on. Afterwards, I returned to the wooded Badlands in search of some sheep. Sheep would be perfect. It's so cold this time of year. I could really use some wool. After over a day of searching, I found a flock of sheep and shepherded them back to my base. While I was out in the Badlands searching for even more sheep to shepherd, I ran into the worst possible person I could run into, the Bandit Warlord himself.
So you must live in the wooded Badlands. Good to know. Though you won't be living here for long, or living at all, 'cause I'm gonna destroy you.
Not so fast, Warlord. I'm armed. Check out my cool new bow.
That is certainly a cool bow, Zozo. How does it compare to mine?
That's when he pulled out a crossbow and shot out a fully loaded firework, and all I could do was run. And as I was running away, he kept firing explosive bolts at me. This is bad. I need to get out of here. Lucky for me, slithering in a serpentine maneuver came naturally. I was able to escape without getting hit, but I knew that the next time I faced him, I might not have been so lucky. From day 9 to day 10, I returned to my base, feeling beaten and battered by my one-sided battle against the Bandit Warlord. But when I returned, I saw something incredible, the start of a statue. I couldn't tell what it was meant to be yet, but just looking at it filled me with surprise and awe. Wow, I wonder what it's going to be. What do you think? If you can guess, give me a hint in the comments. I immediately ran over to my friend, the Desert Wolf, to ask how this had happened.
I felt as though you needed some inspiration on your grand quest, Zozo. It isn't easy to have the weight of the world bearing down on you. I thought a monument to a certain phrase would help you see straight.
Thank you so much, Desert Wolf. I feel so lucky to have you on my team.
The statue isn't the only thing I've done. I made a few base upgrades, a new house complete with a storage room and a training room. They should come in handy along your quest for victory against the Bandit Warlord.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome! I can't even begin to tell you how helpful that'll be. This day just keeps getting better and better. From day 11 to day 12, the Desert Wolf and I were hanging out in the training room. I was working on improving my fighting and slithering skills, while Desert Wolf gave me his sage advice.
Villain you are up against is full of insecurity, Zozo.
What do you mean by that?
He and his band of brutish barbarians rule this land through fear. Nobody is brave enough to stand up to them. But those who rule through fear walk on thin ice. The second people stop fearing them, their rule crumbles.
So that's why he's worried about me being OP. If I make it look like he's not so scary anymore, he won't be able to rule over all his bandits.
Exactly. This battle is not just one that must be won physically. It's a battle of the mind. You've already rattled him. Keep going. Keep getting stronger. And eventually, you will ensure that his empire of cruelty and fear falls.
From day 13 to day 15, I was ready to start putting my new knowledge and training to good use in the Cherry Blossom Forest. I needed to be scarier than the Bandit Warlord, and the best way to send a strong message was to take out one of his toughest henchmen, the Brigand. I made a beeline for where I first saw him, and sure enough, he was there, still looking as mean and smug as ever.
The weird little freak of nature is back! Did I not kick your butt hard enough before? Guess I've gotta show you your place all over again.
All you guys love to talk and talk and talk about how cool and tough you are. How about you put your money where your mouth is?
Okay, weirdo, let's do it.
I crossed swords with the Brigand, taking him on with all my might. This time, I had the strength of my goal behind me, and when the dust had cleared, the Brigand was defeated, and I'd won the day. I feel like I'm stronger than ever. Wait, what's that weird feeling? I'd gained enough XP to level up. I got bigger, stronger, and suddenly I had 30 hearts. But that wasn't all. I'd gained a new power, the ability to stretch myself and look longer. I bet this could come in handy somehow. From day 16 to day 19, still feeling confident after defeating that evil brigand, I decided it was time to treat myself to an equipment upgrade. That's why I hunted through the wooded badlands until I found the perfect mining cavern. I bet they'll have some iron down there. I ventured deep down into the mine until I found a rich vein of iron ore that was ripe for mining. I dug it up and collected as much iron ore as I could, then started to leave the cave. But I wasn't alone down there. I saw some freaky old Forsaken blocking the exit. There were a lot of them, and I didn't feel like taking the risk of taking them all out at once. I slithered through them and escaped the cave, heading straight back to my base. There, I used a furnace to smelt the ore into ingots and made myself a brand new iron sword and iron pickaxe. That was a risky trip, but it paid off. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up with the desert wolf standing at the foot of my bed.
Zozo, it is time for you to prove your mettle once again.
What? What's happening?
Your enemy, the bandit warlord, is at the gates. He's here alone. I believe he wishes to defeat you.
Well, I better go and see him. I slithered out of my room and saw the bandit warlord standing right there. He looked scarier than ever, with his sword and his firework crossbow. I didn't know if I could win this fight.
Hello, Zozo. Fancy seeing you here, right? I was trundling along, looking for a weakling to destroy. And as luck would have it, the very weakling I wanted to destroy fell right into my lap. I should buy a lottery ticket after this.
Are you sure that you're so lucky, warlord? Or is it all just talk?
Attack me and find out, wimp.
I didn't want to. Even with my new hearts, I didn't feel confident that I could win in a one-on-one fight with the bandit warlord. But I had another potential plan. Okay, we'll fight. But first, let me enter my ultimate power form. I used my stretching ability to make myself look huge. That's when the bandit warlord started to look nervous.
On second thoughts, I left the laundry out. And I'm expecting a delivery at the bandit base. Rain check, I'll destroy you another day, Zozo.
The bandit warlord ran off. My plan worked. I'd intimidated him. In that moment, I realized there were more ways I could win than just with raw power. Just like the desert wolf said, it's a battle of the mind. From day 23 to day 26, I was tidying up around my base when I spotted a frontiersman cap on the ground. Oh hey, someone must have dropped this here. I'll just try it on. When I put the cap on, I felt faster all of a sudden. I felt sneakier. I think this cap increases my sneak speed. This is awesome! I hope whoever lost this doesn't miss it too much, because this is gonna be a huge help. I decided to double check around the spot where I found the cap, just in case there were any upgrades I missed. I didn't find any, but I did find a note. It says, "Don't forget to search Zozo for more amazing adventures." Sounds like pretty good advice. From day 27 to day 31, the desert wolf came to see me.
Zozo, I have something of the utmost importance to show you. I have made an addition to the statue.
I followed him to the statue, and I still couldn't quite tell what it was, but it looked pretty good. This is really coming together.
I am honored you think so, and yet something troubles me. The statue seems incomplete. What would you suggest?
That's a great question. I think it could use a little bit of crying obsidian. It's pretty great, but that'll give it the extra spark it needs.
A wise choice indeed. You have arisen to the challenge once more, Zozo. You traveled to the oasis to gather some.
Yeah! So I ventured out to the oasis. I was just exploring and minding my own business when I encountered one of the oogly boogly barbarians.
In the name of the bandit warlord, I'm here to destroy you!
I'd prefer it if you didn't. He attacked, but I held my own, and I was able to defeat him. Once the barbarian was taken care of, I was finally able to do what I had came to the oasis to do in the first place, gather some crying obsidian. This will make a great addition to the statue. From day 32 to day 35, I was getting ready to leave the oasis when an anxious-looking serval came scurrying up to me.
Hi. Sorry, excuse me. Hi. Are you Zozo, the one who's been beating up bad guys all over the place? Sorry, that was rude. But are you?
That's me. What's up?
Well, I'm sorry to bother you, but my friend, the Desert Rabbit, he's in danger. A wraith came through here earlier and kidnapped him. But if you're too busy to help, don't worry about it. I don't want to be a bother.
You're not a bother. I'd be happy to help. Let's go and get your friend back.
Oh, thank you. The wraith took him to the space nearby. Follow the path and you'll find it.
From day 36 to day 39, I followed the serval's directions to the Wraith's base. I've seen better. My base is way cooler than this one. I guess crime doesn't pay.
Hey, who's the jerk stomping around outside my house and talking smack?
The Wraith floated through the door to confront me. Me, I'm the jerk. I mean, I'm not a jerk. You are. Kidnapping is wrong.
Well, that rabbit shouldn't have gotten in my way.
Why don't you just let him go so we can all move on?
What kind of fool do you think I am? I'm holding this loser rabbit for ransom. If the serval pays up, I'll let him go.
That's not fair. He shouldn't have to pay you to see his friend again. That's it. We're gonna settle this with a battle. I drew my sword and got ready to fight. From day 40 to day 43, I started my battle with the kidnapping Wraith. Just let the rabbit go, and we don't have to do this.
Never! I'm gonna get rich off of this ransom, and I'm gonna take your head to the bandit warlord and see if he'll pay me for doing him a favor.
No, you won't. You're not doing either of those things. It was a difficult fight, but I was finally able to defeat him. He dropped a key, and I unlocked a door in his base, letting the desert rabbit free. Your friend, the serval, sent me. Are you okay?
That was pretty scary. But I'm not hurt or anything. Nothing a nap, a meal, and a hug from my best friend can't fix.
I led the desert rabbit back to the serval and watched the two best friends have a tearful reunion.
You're okay. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sorry I couldn't pay the ransom. I'd do anything I could to save you. Thank you for your help, Zozo. Thank you.
From day 44 to day 49, I took all of the crying obsidian I had gathered and brought it back to my base. When I got there, the desert wolf was waiting patiently for me.
Welcome back from your arduous journey, Zozo. I'm glad to see you were successful. I shall take this crying obsidian and incorporate it into the statue at once.
While he was working on the statue, I decided to make some improvements to the base too. Why should he be doing all the work? I can also make this place better. Let's see. I bet a new perimeter wall would help. I spent a while constructing a wall around the perimeter of the base to keep invaders out. When I was finished, I took a step back and admired my hard work. This looks great! Time to check in on that statue. When I reached the statue, the desert wolf had finished adding on the crying obsidian. Wow, it's really coming together. I can't wait to find out what it is. From day 50 to day 53, I was hanging out of my base, enjoying the new improvements, when I suddenly heard a commotion coming from outside. I followed the sound and saw a bunch of barbarians run towards my base. Oh no! In the distance, I could see the bandit warlord hanging back while his oogly boogly boys did the dirty work for him.
How do you like me now? Not very much, I wager. Huh.
Come and face me yourself. Don't just hide back there like a coward.
I'm not scared. I just don't feel like walking all the way over there. Yeah, much better to let my oogly boogly boys mess you up instead.
He then talked to one of his minions.
Say, boss, what should we do with this random wolf here?
Oh, let's take him. I haven't had a good hostage in ages, and kidnapping is so much fun. Let's go. Ta-ta, Zozo. I hope you're getting used to losing, cause it's gonna keep happening.
One of the barbarians took the desert wolf away.
Toodaloo.
The bandit warlord disappeared, leaving me with the remaining barbarians. I had no choice but to fight my way through them, so I did. I got my sword and I slashed left and right, knocking down every barbarian until none of those oogly boogly boys were left standing. Whew, that was a tough fight. As I took a second to catch my breath, I felt my hearts increase to 50. I also felt a huge burst of energy. I ran up to a piece of nearby wall and started climbing it. Whoa, I couldn't do that before. From day 54 to day 57, I was feeling excited about my new ability to climb walls. But the excitement didn't last long, since the desert wolf was nowhere to be found. I wish I knew where they took him, or how I can get him back. Before I could figure out a rescue mission though, I needed to fix up my sword. So I did just that. Using an anvil, I quickly repaired my sword. Now, who do I know who has experience with kidnapping and rescuing their friends? Wait a second, I remember someone. To the oasis! I returned to the oasis and tracked down the serval I helped before.
Oh, hi, Zozo. Is something wrong?
Something's very wrong. My friend was kidnapped, and I don't know what to do next.
Oh, geez. Well, you're the hero, not me. I don't know. Who kidnapped them?
The bandit warlord did.
Oh no, his oogly boogly boys are so strong and scary. But I do know where they might have taken your friend. I bet they're in the Weeping Mire. But you'll need better gear before you go there. I don't want to be rude, but hire won't cut it when you're on the Bandit Warlord's turf. I'm sorry.
Thanks for the advice. I'd better find some stronger weapons then. From day 58 to day 62, I ventured down into the mine, deeper than I'd ever gone before, and started searching. After a little while, I found some diamonds. Jackpot! I dug up all of the diamonds and was getting ready to carry them back to my base when a huge tarantula suddenly crawled out of the shadows and jumped at me. Ah! Get back! But it didn't get back. It tried to bite me instead. I dodged just in time, climbing up the wall of the cave to get away from the spider. Next, I got my sword and attacked, jumping down from the wall and catching the tarantula by surprise. Gotcha! I was able to defeat the tarantula and escape from the cave without taking any damage. Phew, that was close. Now, time to use these diamonds. I crafted a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. These will be perfect. Time to make a plan. From day 63 to day 66, I took a look at the statue that the desert wolf had been working so hard on. I promise, I'll get you back safe and sound. I will! You'll be able to finish this statue, my friend. I wanted to work on the statue, but it made me too sad to do anything without the desert wolf. I need to be brave so I can rescue him. No time to get discouraged. I have to remember my mission here, and you have to remember to subscribe to the channel for more Zozo stories and awesome videos. With that, there was no more time to sit around and miss the desert wolf. I had to go and get him back. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the Weeping Mire in search of the Bandit Warlord's base. Okay, you creep, where are you hiding, my friend? I used my speedy stealth to sneak around the place, looking for a way in. I spotted an entrance, but it was being guarded by a bunch of barbarians. There are a lot of them, and only one of me, but I've got the spiffy diamond sword on my side, and the determination to save my friend. I think I can do it. I guess the barbarians heard me giving myself a pep talk because one of them turned to look right at me.
Hey, it's that tiger snake abomination! Get 'em, boys, for the glory of the Bandit Warlord!
Oh, no you don't. I'm not gonna get got. They attacked me, but I was ready for them. With my new diamond sword, taking out those oogly boogly guards was a cinch. Before too long, they were all beaten, and I was ready to head into the dungeon and rescue the desert wolf. From day 71 to day 74, I ran inside the Bandit Warlord's base. I was ready to keep running until I reached the dungeon and found my friend, but a brigand was blocking my path. Get out of my way. I've got an important mission.
No, I crush you. Time to fight. Time to lose.
Or maybe it's time for me to win. Ever think about that? The brigand didn't answer. Instead, it attacked me, but it was no match for my diamond sword. I defeated the brigand and continued my journey. As I did, I stumbled upon a chest. Oh, I wonder what's in here. I opened something good. I opened the chest and took a look inside. Whoa, I was right about it being something good. Look at this. It's a full set of diamond armor. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the armor and put it on. Now no one can stop me from rescuing the desert wolf. I feel so tough and strong and ready to take on whatever threats try to get in my way. The Bandit Warlord is wrong about a lot of stuff, but he got one thing right. I really am a powerful tiger snake. But unlike him, I use my powers for good. No time to keep making speeches to myself. I've got to get moving. From day 75 to day 78, I finally reached the dungeon where I could see the desert wolf locked in a cage. Are you okay? Did those creeps hurt you?
Do not worry about me, Zozo. I am unharmed. I thank you for coming to free me from this cage. I was not meant to be confined like this. Look behind you and find the key.
What does that mean? Is it a riddle?
No, Zozo, the key to my cell is behind you. Turn around and look. It is right there.
Oh, got it. I turned around and sure enough, there was the key. I picked it up and unlocked the cell. There, now you're free.
I am forever in your debt, Zozo.
Oh, there's no need for all that. You're my friend. I'm just glad you're safe.
I must flee this place before they notice I am gone. I trust you will be right behind me.
I'll be right there. Go on ahead. I'll meet you back at the base. Back home. I watched the desert wolf gracefully lope out of the dungeon, and I was about to follow him when the Bandit Warlord emerged from the shadows. heroes!
Hello, Zozo. Fancy meeting you here. Just kidding. I knew you'd come here. It's a trap, isn't it? Oh, you saved your little friend. How nice. But who's gonna save you, eh? No one. And you're in my house now, mate.
Yeah, maybe you should hire a decorator. Your house is pretty gross.
How dare you! My mum decorated this lair, and she has impeccable taste. Just for that, I'll chop you into little bits, I will.
Climbed the wall while he was yammering on and was able to surprise him by jumping down onto him, my sword ready.
Hey, that's no fair.
You kidnapped my friend. Seems pretty fair to me. This time, our strength was better matched. I could actually fight him and do some real damage. And he could tell I could see he was getting shaken up. I was about to attack again when he knocked me back into a wall with a sudden hit. While I was recovering, he ran away, disappearing down the hall.
I'm not running away. I just left the oven on and my pies are burning. I'm very brave.
I didn't believe him, but I decided to take that moment to get out of there and make my way back to my base. From day 79 to day 84, the bandit warlord paced back and forth in his lair deep in the weeping mire.
I can't let myself lose to a tiger snake. What even is that? A reptile? A cat? Can't be both. But somehow, it is. Horrible, just horrible. I have to get stronger, bigger, badder. I know. I have this potion of strength that Mummy gave me for my birthday. I promised to save it for a rainy day. And well, it looks pretty rainy to me.
He grabbed the potion of strength and quickly drank the whole thing. Immediately, he began to grow bigger and stronger, letting the potion's power course through him.
Oh, just you wait, Zozo. Next time, I won't have to run away. Tend to some burning pies in the oven. Next time, it will be a fight to the death. Your death, not mine.
From day 85 to day 89, I made it back to my base. I can't believe that bandit warlord keeps running away from our fights. What a dweeb. I needed to get out of there though, so I could come check on things back here. Desert Wolf, did you make it back?
Yes, Zozo, I am here. And I have something wonderful to show you. The statue is finally complete. I hope that it will inspire you to achieve your goals and complete your hero's journey.
I walked over to where he had been building the statue, and my jaw dropped. It was a tiger's face. Wow, it's amazing.
I find this symbol to be deeply meaningful, not just because of your tiger-like nature, but because of what it represents. It is the thrill of the fight. It is the ability to rise up to the challenge of a rival. It is the survivor watching his ultimate goal with the eye of the tiger.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. If only I could be sure how to finally defeat the bandit warlord when he keeps running away.
Simple. Do not let him run away next time. Be brave, be true, stand and fight, even as he tries to flee. Only then will you at last be victorious. Also, I believe that there is a potion of power hidden in the oasis. Drink of it, and it will prepare you for the final battle.
From day 90 to day 94, I listened to the Desert Wolf's advice and returned to the oasis. When I got there, I saw a barbarian had gotten there first.
The boss will be thrilled I found this potion of power for him. All I need to do is open this chest.
Hey, wait a second. I need that potion.
Yeah, find its keepers.
How about I fight you for it?
Sure, I could use a good victory.
He was pretty confident, but he shouldn't have been. With my diamond sword and my new set of armor, I was much stronger than I had ever been before. I beat you oogly boogly boys without all this new gear and training. It'll be a piece of cake now. I was right too. It was a quick fight, and like a piece of cake, winning was pretty sweet. With the barbarian out of my way, I opened the chest and found the potion of power inside. Great, I'll hold on to this until I absolutely need it. From day 95 to day 97, I traveled back to my base, feeling more and more confident with each passing day. I'm starting to think I could really do this. The Desert Wolf was right. I'm going to complete my hero's journey and defeat the bandit warlord. I feel like I'm watching him with the eye of the tiger right now. While I was thinking about that, the serval came to visit me.
Hi, excuse me, is Zozo home? Sorry to bother you.
Hi, I'm here. Not a bother at all. What's up? The serval approached me.
Well, I heard you were getting ready for a really big fight, and I found something I thought might help you. Not that you need any help. I'm sure you're very capable, totally on your own. But I thought you should have this, in case you want it. If you do,
He handed me a full set of netherite armor. This is the most amazing armor I've ever seen. Thank you so much. What an incredible gift.
You're sure? You really like it? I kept the receipt. You can totally exchange it if you want to.
Oh, it's perfect. I'll wear this when I head into battle. With it on, I'll be protected from whatever the bandit warlord throws at me.
Good luck, Zozo. Not that you need luck. Geez, I'm sorry. I put my paw in my mouth again. I'm so rude. What I'm trying to say is, I believe in you.
Message received, my friend. Message received. On day 98, I spent my time preparing for my final confrontation with the bandit warlord. I tried on my new netherite armor, practiced with my sword and bow, climbed walls, and practiced being quick and stealthy just like a tiger in the wild. I'm feeling really prepared. I think it's now or never, and I'd rather it be now. I've learned a lot about being a tiger snake, and I think the only thing left to do is make sure to search for Zozo videos by typing ZOZO and leave a comment about who you want to see next. And defeat the big bad, of course. On day 99, I said goodbye to the desert wolf, took one more look at the tiger face statue, and traveled back to the bandit warlord's lair in the Weeping Mire. Okay, I was waiting for the right moment, and I think this is it. I grabbed the potion of power and drank it. Immediately, I felt it starting to work. I grew bigger and stronger. My heart's increased to 100. I feel awesome. I feel powerful. I feel like a tiger and snake combined. I shouted with excitement, and a blast of fire came out of my mouth. And I've got fire breath too. What am I waiting for? Let's go. With all the confidence of a big, strong tiger snake, I strode into the base until I finally found the bandit warlord.
Hello, Zozo. You might notice I look a tad different. I had a potion, and it's gone and made me big. Wait a minute, you're bigger too. No fair. That's no fair. What's that? Me mum's calling me. I've got to go. No time to fight right now.
You're lying. I won't let you run away from another fight with me. You've done too many terrible things. We're finishing this now.
Okay, just let me. Ha! I tricked you.
Just like that, he rushed at me and attacked. He caught me by surprise, but my new armor protected me from damage and gave me time to blast him with my fire breath. He definitely wasn't expecting that. After the fire breath, he was dazed and confused, and definitely wasn't ready for my next move when I attacked with my sword. You tried to scare me, but you were just a bully, a cowardly bully. You always were. Well, you're not gonna bully anyone anymore. And with that, I struck a final blow, and the bandit warlord fell! On day 100, I arrived back home at my base, victorious and happy. I did it! I finally did it!
Wonderful news! Tell me, how does it feel to be a hero?
It feels awesome!
And what will your next quest be?
I don't know, but right now, I want to kick back and relax with my friends for a little while. Can we do that?
We certainly can. Heroics are all well and good, but there is nothing more important than taking the time to rest after a job well done.
On day 1, I spawned into the seasonal forest as a rad poison dinosaur. Whoa, I'm awesome and deadly. Nobody is gonna mess with me, even though I've only got 10 hearts. But that turned out to be totally wrong, because as quick as a flash, an intimidating axe-wielding pillager appeared right behind me. He didn't look intimidated by me at all.
Howdy. Haven't seen you around these parts before, kid.
Hey, I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet ya.
Wish I could say the same. Name's Pillager Pete. The meanest, nastiest son of a gun you'll find around here. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to run, and then I'm gonna destroy you.
But why? I don't even know you.
3, 2, 1.
He didn't hesitate for a second. Pillager Pete attacked, and all I could do was run for the hills. I didn't even have weapons. There was no way I could fight him. But as I ran away, I heard Pillager Pete yell,
"Get 'em, boys!"
That's when a gang of Vindicators jumped out of the trees and started chasing me. It seemed like this Pillager Pete guy had a whole team working for him, but why were they after me? In the end, I managed to outrun them and hid behind a clutch of trees until they stopped looking. I need to figure out what's going on here, or my poison goose is cooked. On day 2, I felt relieved, having narrowly escaped the scary Pillager Pete and those lethal gangs of Vindicators. But I couldn't afford to worry too much about it. Instead, I needed to get myself a snack or my hunger bar was going to start eating itself. Lucky for me, I was able to find some apples that sated my hunger. Do dinosaurs eat apples? Who knows? I'm not a paleontologist. That's the name for someone who studies dinosaurs, by the way. But before I could even let my dinner settle, one of the Vindicators popped out and prepared to attack me.
Pillager Pete sends his regards, you poison little loser.
With no weapons, I couldn't fight back. I just ran off and avoided him until he disappeared. Then, when the coast was clear, I decided it was a good time to start working on a shelter. I broke down a tree and made a wooden pickaxe. Then, I mined up some stone and used it to build some better tools. A stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And with my spare stone, I built myself a basic one-room base where I could rest for the night. I'll figure out how to defeat all those villains tomorrow. On day 3, I ventured out of the seasonal forest to the inhospitable cold of the Shattered Glacier. Yeesh, I wouldn't want to build a summer home around here. Still, there might at least be some cool loot for the taking. But thanks to my cruddy luck, instead of finding some awesome loot, I found a dangerous zombified piglin.
Hey, I'm the only weird, nasty creature that's allowed in these parts. You're cramping my style. And if you cramp my style, I'll crush you!
He attacked me viciously, causing me to run away. There was no way I could survive a fight with him at my low level of experience. Why is everyone so aggro here? I don't get it. Why is it so hard to make friends? But I may have gotten lucky in the end, because I happened upon a friendly weaponsmith wandering the glacier.
Well, hello there, me good lad. I'm Wally. Wally the Weaponsmith. As the name suggests, I like making weapons. What are you doing out here?
Oh, just exploring. I need to find some cool gear to fight off that nasty Pillager Pete guy.
Wait, you said Pillager Pete? Oh, sonny, now that's a whole can of worms.
You know about Pillager Pete?
I've known him for years.
Then you better come with me. I need all the help I can get. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the base with Wally the Weaponsmith. He seemed like a really useful guy to keep around. What kind of room would you like, Wally?
I'm easy, me lad. As long as I've got somewhere warm with a roof over my head, I'll be happy.
I worked on mining some stone and andesite and started putting together a new room with a bed for Wally the Weaponsmith to stay. When I was done making it, he decided to go and relax inside the room and make himself at home. But I wasn't able to relax just yet. A Vindicator assassin suddenly popped out of the trees and fired a blow dart at me.
Hey, how come that didn't work?
I'm a poison dinosaur, man. You can't use poison darts on me.
Oh well, I'll destroy you with a sword then.
Not if I destroy you first. We both drew weapons and I battled bravely until, in the end, the Vindicator assassin was defeated. And even better, I got to pick up his blowgun and the darts. I bet this will be even more lethal in the hands of a poison dinosaur like me. From day 6 to day 8, I went out further into the seasonal forest to gather up some more resources, namely sheep. Wool can be used for so many things after all. I found a gang of sheep and was able to shepherd them back to my base, where I built a basic pen to keep them in. But when I went back out to the seasonal forest to gather even more sheep, I found something I didn't want to find. Or rather, that something found me.
Long time no see, Zozo.
It was Pillager Pete, and he was back with a deadly new surprise for me.
Throwing axes, freshly sharpened for that killer edge. Figured you might be able to help me with some target practice. I'll throw, and you play the target.
Before I had a chance to think up a poisonously clever comeback, he tossed an axe right at me, and I was forced to run for my life. He just followed me, laughing, throwing axe after axe. When one hit me, I lost almost all of my hearts. I needed to get out of here.
Running away already, Zozo? The fun's just getting started for me.
I knew I wasn't strong enough to beat him yet. Instead, I hid behind a tree and dug a hole into the ground, which I hid inside while Pillager Pete ran past me. I stayed in that hole for the rest of the day, wanting to make sure he was gone before I climbed back out and went back to my base. Jeez, what a day! From day 9 to day 10, I woke up to the weaponsmith, brimming with excitement. He had some awesome things to show me.
Zozo, me boy, I wanted to thank you for giving me a place to stay in these difficult times. For starters, I made you a statue. It's a bit of a work in progress, but I think when it's done, it's gonna be amazing.
Wow, thank you, Wally. I can't wait to see it. I followed him outside and saw the start of a statue that Wally had been building. It was an astounding sight to see. I couldn't tell you what it was yet, but I knew it was going to be amazing. How about you, viewer? What do you think it's gonna be? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see if you get it right. But it wasn't just the statue. Wally had some other good news too.
Oi! Take a look around the base, Zozo. I made a training area for you to work in, and I plan to create a lot of weapons for you too. And I made a furnace to make it easier for me to forge for you. I also made a storage room to keep the weapons and resources.
Wow, Wally, that's amazing! Let's build a campfire tomorrow night to celebrate. From day 11 to day 12, I stood by a campfire outside my base as the evening turned to dusk, hanging out with Wally the weaponsmith. Wally, you told me you knew something about Pillager Pete. I think now is a pretty good time for you to share that information, bud.
Huh, you've got me there, lad. I suppose now is the right time to tell you. I was worried if I told you before, you'd be discouraged.
Tell me, I believe I can take it.
I used to be a bounty hunter. He got so good at it. In fact, he hired a loathsome gang of vindicators to join him on his quests. But they got bored doing jobs for people. They'd take out their targets, they'd take out the people who hired them, and they'd take out anyone who they saw along the way. These days, they mostly just go after people for the challenge. They enjoy it.
And I guess he thinks that the mighty poison dinosaur is a good challenge?
Aye, lad. He'll hunt you down if it's the last thing he does. So you gotta make sure it is the last thing he does.
So no pressure then.
That's why I didn't tell you before.
From day 13 to day 15, finally knowing just how dangerous my opponent was, I decided that I needed to settle some old scores and prove my worth. That's why I was making my way through the Shattered Glacier once again, ready to take on one of my earliest and deadliest enemies, the zombified piglin. I approached with my stone sword at the ready. It was time to finish this.
Oink, oink! Ready to get your poison butt kicked, Dino?
It's Zozo! But yes, I guess I am also a dino. It's confusing, but don't worry about it. Let's just fight! And so, we did! The zombified piglin and I duked it out, and I gave it my all, until in the end, my power and my poison were too much for him! The zombified piglin was defeated, and I had enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and now having 30 whole hearts! But wait, I can feel my power growing! What is this? Boom! I fired a powerful poison blast! Oh yeah! I have a feeling that this new power is gonna be useful! From day 16 to day 19, I descended into the mining cavern I'd worked so hard to find. I'd never been so grateful to be in a deep, dark hole. Okay, iron, 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 where are you? I kept searching until I found a rich vein of iron ore and used my pickaxe to dig the ore out. I collected as much of it as I could and then prepared to leave the cavern. Wait, what's that weird noise? Suddenly, an arrow hit me and I saw a bunch of skeletons walking towards me. Most would have been scared, but not me. I was just excited to try out my new poison blast ability. Time to see how my poison affects bones. I unleashed a few poison blasts and the skeletons immediately started dying. I'd never felt so powerful. Pillager Pete is gonna be in real trouble next time we see each other. I gathered the rest of the iron and returned back. With the Skelly Boys defeated, I went back to my base and gave the iron ore over to the weaponsmith.
Great work, lad! I've tempered you some fine weapons with the furnace. Take this iron sword and iron pickaxe and use them to make yourself even stronger.
Thanks, Weaponsmith Wally. I can't wait. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up to the weaponsmith panicking in my bedroom. Wally, why'd you come in here? Can't you see I'm trying to get my poison dinosaur beauty sleep?
No time, lad. The pillager, he's here, and he looks like he's ready to battle. You need to be ready. He's gonna destroy us all.
Jeez, this is one heck of a wake-up call, Wally. I yanked myself out of my bed and ran out to meet Pillager Pete at the door. He looked every bit as well-trained and lethal as before.
Well, well, well. If it ain't the toxic twerp, I'll need to teach a thing or two.
I'm learning on my own, Pillager, and everything I've learned is going to make me even stronger than you.
I love your confidence, kid. It's more fun to destroy someone when they think they're gonna win.
Without warning, the pillager threw an axe at me, wounding me, but I couldn't afford to back down. I started attacking Wally with my iron sword, striking again and again, slowly wearing him down. In the end, I hit him with a poison blast, and that stopped him in his tracks.
You dirty little snake.
You're always gonna rely on your poison to win, aren't you? You little coward. You're not worth my time.
I'll see you next time, Pete. And when I do, only one of us will remain. Pillager Pete disappeared in a puff of smoke, and I was left feeling the thrill of battle and the belief that I truly had it in me to defeat that diabolical pillager. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to craft a brand new weapon for myself, the Poison Sprayer. This would allow me to concentrate my most powerful poisons into an area of effect spray attack. This weapon will no doubt serve me well when Pillager Pete comes knocking. I'll show him who uses poison to win fights, nobody else but me. And if you want to show your friends more of my most epic battles, remember to search Zozo so you can find more videos. From day 27 to day 31, I went to check on Wally the weaponsmith and see how his work on the statue was progressing. How goes it, Wally?
Hi there, Zozo. The statue has a new section complete, thanks to my craftsmanship. Want to come see it?
Sure, if you insist. The statue was now of an impressive size, and I still couldn't see what it would become.
For the next part, I need some more framed glass. That could be tricky to come by in the large quantities I need, even for a weaponsmith like me. But I did hear of an abandoned mine in the Sierra Valley, which might have a vein of it.
Say no more. I'm off to collect this special glass so you can make more progress on this glorious statue. I gathered my weapons and departed from the base to begin my quest for the stacks upon stacks of glass needed. Before long, I was deep in the Sierra Valley. The area was crawling with Vindicators, who somehow must have known I'd be searching for resources in the area. Didn't take long for some to spot me and run in.
You made a big mistake, embarrassing Pillager Pete like that. He's gonna want us to destroy you slowly for what you've done.
And you made an even bigger mistake telling me that. The poison sprayer should keep you creeps at bay. And it did. I defeated multiple Vindicators using the poison sprayer, then used my poison blast on another couple and finished them all. From day 32 to day 35, I ventured farther into the Sierra Valley and encountered another vicious Vindicator.
You can't scare me away, Zozo. I'm braver than my buddies.
Rather than facing it head on, I used a poison dart from my blowgun and then switched to the poison sprayer to inflict the poison status. The poison damage gradually weakened him, especially when I also used the poison blast. The combination of all this was able to finish him off quickly. This valley is more dangerous than I thought. For Vindicators. Oh yeah, I'm the most dangerous thing here. That's when I saw a wandering trader traveling through the area. Traders are known for having all sorts of rare items, so immediately I started to think that I should do business with the guy. I'll bet he even has the framed glass I need for the statue. I approached the trader and asked if I could purchase any of his wares, especially if his inventory happened to include framed glass.
I do have some of those, but I won't just give them away for free.
Okay already, name your price.
I need you to rescue my librarian, who has been kidnapped by the Enderman. I have a couple overdue library books in my inventory, and if the librarian is gone, I'll never be able to return them.
That's it? A rescue mission? Easy peasy poison greasy. I got this. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled to the base of the Enderman, who kidnapped the local librarian. The fate of 1,000 library cards hangs in the balance. I may be the toughest poison dinosaur around, but even I support access to good reading. I looked in through one of the windows of the base and saw a cage with the librarian held captive inside. The Enderman was pacing around the room, looking all kinds of sinister.
Please let me go. Running a well-stocked library is a service to the community, and I can't do it if I'm trapped in here.
That's exactly the point. Without you taking care of the library, I'll be able to keep my overdue library books forever.
You fiend. Other people might want to read those books.
Then they can pry them from my pitch-dark, freakishly long arms.
This Enderman is seriously evil, but it was a good thing that he wasn't very careful. I could see the key to the librarian's cage on the wall. I can't use an area of effect weapon like the poison sprayer because I might poison the librarian, so I'll use a bunch of blow darts on the Enderman first, then use my iron sword to end the fight up close and personal. I prepared some poison darts for the first step of my plan and proceeded to enter the structure. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck up on the Enderman and surprised him with a couple poison sprays.
Who in the heck are you?
Just a poison dinosaur who is here to rescue the librarian. Nothing personal.
It's about to be personal because I'd rather fight to the bitter end than return any of my library books.
You have some strange priorities, Enderman. But by all means, keep talking about them so my poison has more time to damage you.
You lousy! I'm going to make you extinct!
The Enderman charged in swinging, but I knew the poison was taking its toll, so I pulled out my iron sword and started swinging right back. We fought in melee, and I quickly gained the upper hand. With a few daring slashes, I overwhelmed the Enderman and finished what the poison started. Bye-bye, Enderman. I guess it was your end you should have been worried about. The fallen Enderman dropped the key, which I used to unlock the librarian's cage.
Thank you for saving me.
I returned to the wandering merchant and told him what I did. He then provided me with the material for the statue. Side quest taken care of. Oh yeah! From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base with the framed glass that Wally the weaponsmith would need to continue work on the statue. Here you go, Wally. Don't say I never do anything around here.
Why not? I leave the statue building to me. Thanks for doing the tough part.
Trust me, Wally, I'm capable of a whole lot of things. And to prove what I said, I used some of my extra stone, wood, and iron to construct a perimeter wall around the entire base. The base had gotten to be quite large, so it took a while, but the wall was a lot of fun to build and would make a great defensive barrier too. Man, I worked up a real poisonous sweat getting this wall built. Now that it's done, I'd better go see if Wally has made any progress on the statue in the meantime. Back to the area where the statue was being constructed and saw that it was much closer to be completed than last time. That framed glass that I had collected really shined in the proper place.
Zozo, you're staring at the statue again? It's not gonna be finished today, you know.
I know, Wally. I'm just taking a break to admire it. From day 50 to day 53, the perimeter wall I just built around the base was attacked by a gang of Vindicators, and as usual, Pillager Pete was the one sending them.
Tear down that wall! We've got ourselves a catch to bring in.
I was sure they were talking about me, so I drew my blowgun and started to fire poison darts at them from the wall. Here I am. Did you miss me? Because my darts won't miss you. A few of the Vindicators were poisoned by my attack and climbed up the broken wall to fight me more directly. I drew my iron sword and slashed them down. Then I heard Wally crying out in the distance.
Hey, unarm me! I'm not going anywhere with you by choice!
Oh no, I was wrong! Wally was actually the target they were after this time! The Vindicators had surrounded him, and by the time I got over there, he'd already been kidnapped and taken away!
I order half of you to stay behind and see if you can get that poison dinosaur. He's the real prize.
As Pete escaped, the others tried to take me on, so I switched my poison sprayer and hit them with all of my strongest poisons. Can't catch me, and I'll get Wally back after I whoop all of you with my poison powers. With some poison blasts, I wiped out the remaining Vindicators one by one. The experience of defeating them caused me to level up, obtaining 50 hearts and some radical poison claw attacks. From day 54 to day 57, I repaired my base and built it back better than ever, leveling up the architecture to the standards of my new, bigger, powered-up self. I'm here on my own now without Wally, but I won't be lonely for long. That guy is too handy of a weaponsmith to let him stay captured. I just need some help from one of my other friends. I went to the Sierra Valley where the wandering trader liked to hang out, and as expected, he was there.
Well, if it isn't my favorite customer, what can I do for you today?
Pillager Pete and his force of former bounty hunters took my weaponsmith. I'm looking for any information you might have about where their base is.
Oh, I've got information. A trader keeps track of all sorts of business. Those bounty hunters operate in the far north, where they keep a prison for the most hard-to-catch targets. Back in the day, they would turn them in for money. But now the prison is more like a living trophy cabinet, a place where the creatures they capture are forced to stay forever.
This has to be where they've taken Wally. You said this prison was in the north, but north is a pretty general direction. Where in the north is it?
It's so far north that you'll enter the snowy tundra biome before you find it. Search around in the reaches of that place, and it won't be too much farther.
Well, that's exactly what I needed to know. Thanks, wandering trader.
Wait, aren't you gonna trade me something?
You never named your price. Better luck next time. From day 58 to day 62, I was digging in the mines for diamonds so that I could soup up my gear for the journey north. Iron rusts, but diamonds are forever. In the depths of the cavern, I ran into a few ghasts that weren't too happy to see a poisoned dinosaur making moves in their territory. Too bad for them that my poison claws were so strong that I could take each one down in a single blow. Guess that's the ghast we'll see of those guys. With those nuisances out of the way, I was free to keep mining until I struck diamond. I grabbed all that I could carry and brought it to the crafting table where I fashioned some brand new diamond gear. First, a diamond pickaxe, and then a diamond sword. The journey north will be much less treacherous with these. From day 63 to day 66, I took a moment to observe the half-complete statue that Wally the weaponsmith hadn't yet completed. If he were here, Wally would probably be working on this right now. I need to get him back so he can complete it. Also, under my tough and cool exterior, I really did miss my friend and hoped that I would be able to find him and save him from Pillager Pete. And if you hope to find more of my videos, you should subscribe to the channel so that all my new uploads will appear right there on your YouTube feed. From day 67 to day 70, I had been traveling for a while before I reached the snowy tundra. This is it, the far north. I made it. Nothing is going to keep me from saving Wally. I could see the old bounty hunter prison standing tall among the slopes. It was guarded by a patrol of Vindicators, but I wouldn't let them stop me from breaking in. I fired my poison darts at the Vindicators to draw their attention towards me, inflicting the poison status condition in the process.
Ah, the poison dinosaurs come all the way to the far north. Let's send them packing.
I don't think so. I'm here to check in and save my friend. I drew my diamond sword and hacked and slashed straight through all the approaching Vindicators. The way forward was now totally clear for me to enter into the prison and find Wally the weaponsmith. From day 71 to day 74, I was traversing the many treacherous floors of the bounty hunter prison. I was searching for Wally, but I couldn't see any sign of him. All of the prison cells I did see were empty, and on one of them, the bars were broken off. I wonder who was in there.
The same menace who is now out here.
I turned around to see a zombified piglin running towards me down the hallway.
I was captured by Pillager Pete, but now I enjoy living at this prison because I get to eat all the other prisoners.
You eat the prisoners? That's nasty! But you didn't eat a weaponsmith, did you?
No. Why? Do you know one?
You know what? Forget I mentioned it. Also, take this! I poison blasted the zombified piglin. He aggressively responded with brutal melee attacks. Instead of using my diamond sword, I used my poison claws to give the zombified piglin a poison status effect and deal enough regular damage to take him out. He dropped a map that revealed the location of Wally's cell. On my way down to it, I discovered a treasure chest, which I opened. Inside was a full set of diamond armor, most likely confiscated from a former prisoner. I equipped the armor and kept on moving. From day 75 to day 78, I reached the prison cell where Wally was being held. Wally, you look like you've had better days.
Zozo, never expected to see you again, but here you are to bust me out of the prison.
Wally, listen, I realized something while I was on my journey to the far north. Even though people like Pillager Pete have made life difficult for me, I haven't given up on making friends. I might be strong now, but it takes real strength to let your guard down around other people.
That's a really mature thing for you to say, Zozo. I appreciate it. Now let's get out of here.
I mined through the bars of the prison cell with my diamond pickaxe, and the two of us went in search of the exit. Unfortunately, we were intercepted along the way by Pillager Pete.
What's this? Are we gonna start a new hunt? I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Not as much as I am, Pete. I'm going to defeat you. I waved Wally on and confronted Pillager Pete myself. I'd catch up with my best friend later. For now, it was payback time. I attacked with my poison claws while Pillager Pete struck with his weapon. Both of us were losing health fast, but if I could poison him, I'd be able to swing the battle in my favor, which did the trick. Ha! You're poisoned! This is my win, Pete.
That's what you think.
From day 79 to day 84, Pillager Pete absorbed my poison and proceeded to grow larger and much stronger.
I warned you against using poison. If you introduce a sneaky tactic to the game, then it's gonna be used against you. I'll poison Pete now. Infinitely more toxic than my original form. Your status effects won't be able to bring me down now.
Wait, that means you're immune to poison?
That's right. I had to adapt to all kinds of strange targets during my bounty hunter days, and you've been on my list long enough for me to become your worst nightmare. Go ahead and run. I'll give you a head start because it's more fun that way.
I ran away from the prison and down the snowy tundra, knowing that I couldn't beat him in my current state. I may have rescued Wally, but the poisonous Pillager Pete was still coming for me, and I needed a new plan. From day 85 to day 89, I safely returned to base after traveling for who knows how long. It seemed that Pete's head start was still in effect, so I went to Wally for some advice on how to arm myself against the former bounty hunter's new poison-immune form.
Sounds like what you need is a weapon enchantment for your diamond sword. I've got you covered with this fire aspect enchantment that should enhance the damage you deal to him. I'll keep thinking while I complete my work on the statue. For now, you should use the enchantment.
Thanks, Wally. I'll keep on thinking about how to win as well. This works better if we both put our heads together. I went to the anvil and applied the fire aspect enchantment to my diamond sword. Now I could inflict a burn on Pillager Pete. But I knew that alone wouldn't be enough to beat him, so I decided to go back to Wally and see if he had more ideas. I made my way back to the statue area to find it complete. An incredible statue of a poison flask. And more than just my poison. Putting it on display and acknowledging it really reminded me of how far I'd come in my poison dinosaur journey.
Zozo, I came up with another idea. You should head back to the Sierra Valley and find the potion of power that the Enderman once hoarded to himself.
You're full of great ideas, Wally. It's one of the many reasons we're friends. From day 90 to day 94, I set out for the Enderman's base and found out the Vindicators were there already. They must be looking for the potion of power.
Split up and search the place. The Enderman may have outwitted us long ago, but we can still reclaim his stuff now for the boss, including the potion of power.
I knew it! The Vindicators all noticed me and began to attack. But unlike their boss, these guys weren't immune to my poison. I hit them with poison blasts, poison darts, and my poison sprayer until all of them were taken out. I searched through the base until I found a chest containing the fabled potion of power. I better save this for a key moment. With my enchanted sword and the potion of power in my inventory, there was only one more kind of gear I needed in order to have my showdown with Pete. Luckily, I knew exactly the man who could get me special items. From day 95 to day 97, I invited the wandering trader to my base and gave him a bunch of spare materials in exchange for the best suit of armor that he had in his inventory.
Here you go, Zozo. A full set of custom netherite armor, perfectly sized for a poison dinosaur.
Excellent! I'm going to try it on! I equipped the netherite armor, and now I had all the right stuff I needed to be a match for Pillager Pete in his positively perilous Poison Pete form. I'm going to put Pete in his place.
Good luck out there, Zozo. You'll always be my favorite customer.
On day 98, I kept all of my best gear close by as I remembered all the tough times I went through to get here. I learned so many new ways to use my poisonous power, but I also built things and made friends. Life can be really fun, even if there's a lot of difficult moments in it. And some of the most fun that we can have together is on many more adventures through the overworld. After this, search for more Zozo videos so that you can keep on having fun, and remember to leave a comment about what you want to see next. On day 99, I went back to the snowy tundra to give Pillager Pete the fight of his life. I was decked out in my netherite armor, holding my diamond sword enchanted with the fire aspect, and ready to drink the potion of power when the fight began. I'm here, Pete. Let's end this little game. Pillager Pete stepped out in his adapted form, looking as vicious as ever.
You didn't want to run anymore? Instead, you came straight to me. I'll mess you up so bad, you'll wish you did run away.
That's the thing, Pete. I'll never wish I ran away from this fight, because I'm not going to live my life in fear of bad people. I'm going to beat you and live the rest of it with the good people I chose to call my friends.
Don't you see? There's always some new enemy out there, some new challenges to overcome. Living an easy life? That's nothing to aspire to.
It's everything to aspire to, and whatever comes my way, I'll keep fighting for that easy life, by any means necessary. He charged forward and hit me, but my netherite armor reduced the damage of his hits enough that I could strike back on equal footing. I swung my fire aspect sword and dealt a lot of damage, both regular and fire. We kept on trading blows, with my powerful form and gear keeping me in the fight. Pillager Pete had hunted me across the overworld for a long time, but today, he didn't stand a chance. With my poison fireball, I destroyed him so he would never hunt down anyone again. On day 100, I was living the easy life I had dreamed of back at the base with the others. The trouble with Pillager Pete was done, and for now, I could keep poison to myself. Wally decided to share some words of wisdom with me since today was our first real day of freedom.
Sometimes the best weapon we have when the going gets tough is a good attitude.
I couldn't agree more, buddy. There we were, friends together, united against a harsh and difficult world that was looking a little bit better every day. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a devil dragon! A devil dragon in the Badlands? This is so rad that I don't even mind that I'm a baby! I feel like I should start a rock band or something! But before I could come up with a cool name for my new rock band, something huge and dark rose out of the ground in front of me. It was an Endergast! Oh my goodness! I've never seen anything like you before!
Welcome to my domain, Devil Dragon. I am Lord Endergast, the most powerful being in the overworld.
Wow, it's an honor to meet you, your lordship. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, you can perish!
Lord Endergast blew a huge fireball at me, which I only narrowly dodged, destroying the summoning circle next to me. Why did you do that? I was so polite to you.
I don't admire politeness. I admire survival. That's why I'm playing the 100 Days game. And if you figure out how to play, you may just be able to survive this.
How can I play a game if I don't even know the rules? But he didn't answer me. He just breathed another fireball at me, and all I could do was turn and fly away. The 100 Days game? I guess I've got to find out what it is if I want to survive. On day 2, I finally stopped after hours of flying through the Badlands, trying to escape the wrath of the nasty Lord Endergast. I can't afford to be reckless against a villain as powerful as him just yet. I only have 10 hearts. If a battle goes bad, I won't be able to survive. But my hearts weren't the only issue. My hunger meter was almost dangerously low. I needed to get my hands on some food soon, or I'd be in real trouble. I searched around the Badlands, which didn't have that much vegetation. I was so relieved when I happened upon a lone apple tree that I almost cried. Sweet, crunchy, delicious, appley goodness! Just what the doctor ordered. I knocked down the tree and started eating the apples that it dropped until I started hearing a rustling noise that sent a chill down my spine. I looked up and saw an ender creeper walking towards me.
Don't be a spoil sport, Devil Dragon. My lord and master wants to play a game with you, but you've got no hope of winning if you don't keep your wits about you.
But I don't want to play this game. Let's just talk, okay? And my name isn't Devil Dragon, it's Zozo. Boom! Before he could say anything else, he detonated, leaving a big hole in the ground and knocking out a huge number of my hearts. Oh no, I don't have any healing items. There's no way I could survive another attack like that. That's when my savior arrived. A fire guardian appeared in front of me. For a second, I was worried he'd attacked me, and then he spoke.
You are the Endergast's latest victim. It may feel hopeless, Devil Dragon, but with our help, it is not. Come with me!
So you're on my side?
If there are sides, yes. The only sides I see are the survivors and the condemned. Follow me!
And so I did! On day 3, I followed the fire guardian across the Badlands as night fell around us. It felt like the enemies coming after me could attack at any time.
What is your name, Devil Dragon?
I'm Zozo. I've only been here for 3 days. I don't understand why so many people are after me.
It's because that monstrous Endergast marked you. To be marked means that monsters and beasts will seek you out. They will hunt you, and they will try to destroy you.
But why? I didn't do anything.
Perhaps he senses potential in you. Potential for fun. It's all a game to him. But I know a being that might be able to help and advise you.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
The game's last survivor.
The fire guardian led me to a campfire where a soul blaze was waiting. He sent me over to speak to the supposed survivor of the Endergast's game.
So, you're the new one he picked. My commiserations. You're in for a horrific 100 days.
But why? What exactly is the 100 Days game, and how did you survive it?
It's a grand hunt. Over 100 days, he'll send everything after you, every challenge and monster at his disposal, of which there are many. You will be pushed to the limit, and you will only have 2 choices, to hide or fight back.
I'll fight back! You can't hide from bullies like the Endergast. He'll never give up, so neither will I!
There may be hope for you yet. Make a base, find weapons, make allies, keep fighting, because if you don't, there'll be no hope for you at all.
He gave me a healing potion that I took for my Ender Creeper injuries and went off on my way. From day 4 to day 5, I started following the Soul Blaze's advice. With the Fire Guardian with me as my guide, I went further out into the Badlands to make myself a base.
Take these tools, Zozo. It will make your mission much easier. You can always make better ones later.
The Fire Guardian gave me a stone sword and a set of stone tools, which I used to start mining stone and cutting down trees. I soon had enough to start building myself a base. It was basic at first, just 2 rooms with some beds, one for me and one for the Fire Guardian. I hope these sheets are fireproof. Once the building was done, I stepped back to look at my hard work. It wasn't much, but it was mine, and I was proud of it. I didn't get to enjoy the moment forever though, as an ender blaze floated towards me, ready to attack. This really is a trial by ender fire. It wasn't easy, but with my stone sword, I was eventually able to defeat the ender blaze and destroy it. And when I did, I got enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, gaining 30 hearts, and big, awesome dragon claws. Looks like I really am playing the game now. From day 6 to day 8, I was wandering through a new biome, the giant taiga, which was full of towering trees and lush greenery. A devil dragon looks kind of out of place here, but I still enjoy the scenery. I wonder if I can find anything out here that'll help me survive the 100 days and fight back against the Endergast. I was so lost in thought that I didn't notice an Enderman sneaking up on me. But when I noticed him, I immediately deployed my claws and started attacking him. He was a formidable foe, but my claws helped me gain victory in the end. That's right, I'd ended the Enderman.
That was amazing, kid.
Who's that? I turned and saw an evoker emerging from the tree line.
I've been hunting and tracking that Enderman for weeks, and you took him out just like that. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the kind words. It's been kind of a rough week.
Tell you what, wanna come help me take out another monster? I'll make it worth your while.
Sure, it couldn't hurt. I mean, maybe it could, but I'm always happy to help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the evoker through the giant taiga until we came upon a deeper, darker part of the forest. What exactly do you want me to take on out here, Mr. Evoker?
Truth be told, I need your help taking on a ghast.
Oh no, it isn't an Endergast, is it?
Endergast? No way, I've never even heard of that. This is just a regular ghast, but that doesn't mean it's not extremely dangerous.
Well then, I guess I'll make sure to proceed with caution. And even that caution didn't do me much good. The power of the ghast fireballs repelled me quickly. I had to escape just to survive, then went back to my new friend, the evoker, with my dragon tail between my legs.
It's okay, my friend. Don't beat yourself up. How about we write this one off and come back to take him on another day?
Thanks for your patience, Mr. Evoker. Say, why don't you come back and stay with me at my base? I really need some people on my side right now.
I'll never turn down a free room. Lead the way, Dragon Boy.
From day 11 to day 12, we made it back to my base, and I immediately started working on a room where the Evoker could stay. It was super easy, and before long, he had a brand new place to stay right next to my room. When I was done, he came up to talk to me about something.
Hey there, Zozo. I really appreciate you making me a room, and I wanted to show my gratitude. I hope you don't mind, but while you were working, I took the liberty of making a few upgrades around the place. Come check them out.
I was super impressed. While I'd been busy, the Evoker had set up a brand new storage room where I could keep all my gear and resources, as well as a furnace ready to craft some new equipment. That's so kind of you, Evoker.
Ah, don't mention it. It's the least I could do. Anything else you need? Don't hesitate to ask.
Well, to tell the truth, I could use some advice. I need to survive the Endergast's 100-day-long hunt.
I don't know much about this Endergast fella, but I've been a hunter myself. Let me tell you, a bad hunter will try to make the whole world play by his rules, but a great hunter will know how to use the world around him to his advantage. See what I mean?
It was great advice, and I immediately started to act on it. I headed into a nearby cavern to seek out some iron ore and brought it back to my base. With the furnace, I turned the ore into iron ingots and then crafted a new iron pickaxe and matching sword for myself. The Evoker was right. I could use the world around me to my advantage. That was how I could survive and beat the Endergast at his own game. In my search for more resources, I also made a few extra improvements to my base. I herded a flock of nearby sheep into the area and set up a nice spacious pen to keep them secure. Things looked to be on the up. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to ask my guide, the Fire Guardian, for some advice on growing stronger so I could survive the rest of the hunt.
Taking on the Endergast won't be easy, Zozo, but smaller challenges can prepare us for the larger ones ahead. I've heard some of his henchmen are stalking the giant tiger. If you're using the world around you, then use them to hone your fighting skills.
So, I set off on my new quest to take down some of the Endergast's minions. Reaching the giant taiga, I realized that this wasn't going to be as easy as I first thought, because I was outnumbered. A swarm of ender creepers were roaming around, and I'd already tangled with one of those nasty explosive mobs. But I remembered the advice from the evoker: use the world to my advantage. The giant taiga was filled with plenty of vegetation, which I could use as cover to sneak up and get the drop on them. I jumped from the trees and destroyed one on the spot.
Hey, where the heck did he come from?
With a swing of my sword, I dealt some damage, then ducked back behind the trees.
Hey, where the heck did he disappear to?
They searched for me, but only found defeat. When the last one remained, he puffed, and boom! The ender creeper detonated. I emerged victorious, and one even dropped a handy item, a health potion. Drinking it, I suddenly got much stronger. I had now gone up to 60 hearts, and even learned a new ability, a flame breath attack. Oh, now that's perfect for a devil dragon like me. Now I'm cooking with fire. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the world and looking for some more of the Endergast henchmen to take down. I was feeling super confident about my chances after my victory and looking for my next big challenge. I stumbled into a new biome, the Crimson Forest. This place was crazy creepy. As I explored, I came across an old book that seemed to have been left by someone that the Endergast had marked before. If you are reading this, then beware. The one hunting you has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at his adversaries. He fears nothing. That's why he does this. He hunts to feel alive and will do anything to catch his prey. Oh, I'd better watch out. The Endergast seems to have some real issues. I had been so distracted by reading the book that I almost didn't notice a familiar hissing sneaking up behind me.
There's the devil dragon that took out our buddies. Get this fool, boys.
More ender creepers! I was nearly caught off guard, but stood my ground and fought them off. That was a close one. Lucky I noticed them, or I could have been blown to smithereens. From day 20 to day 22, after my run-in with that last group of ender creepers, I decided it would be best to make sure I was better protected against oncoming damage. So I headed back to the mines and gathered up some more iron ore, turning it into ingots and then smelting those into a shiny new iron chestplate. With all this added armor, and still feeling confident after my recent wins, I thought it was about time I got some more experience and headed back to take care of that ghast that the evoker had been hunting when we met a few days earlier. This ought to be a good warm-up for taking on the Endergast. Sneaking up like I had done before, I gave the ghast a taste of his own medicine and hurled flames its way. I was able to deal a lot of damage, destroying it on the spot. But I didn't get to enjoy the victory for long.
Do you really think you'll be able to best me so easily?
It was the Endergast. Where had he come from?
You really ought to be more careful with how much attention you draw to yourself. I was once like you know. Weak, inexperienced. Do you think anyone made it easy for me? Of course not. I had to prove myself as the greatest hunter of all time. And I'm not about to let an upstart like you undermine me.
Before I had a chance to fight back, the Endergast released a barrage of fireballs. I knew I wasn't going to win this fight. I had no choice but to take cover and retreat to safety. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to make it back to my base, but was careful to make sure I wasn't followed. Lord Endergast had already tracked me down once. I needed to be careful he didn't discover where I'd set up my base. I tried not to feel too defeated. It was still early in the 100-day challenge, and I just needed to keep challenging myself to eventually beat him. Plus, I'd already bested that regular ghast, which the evoker was really impressed to hear about.
That's great! Good going, Dragon Boy! We'll make a world-class hunter out of you yet!
Speaking of which, I decided it was time to get in some more practice of using the world around me to improve my chances of survival. I went off for another jaunt into the mines and gathered up the last of the iron ore I could find. I had plenty to make enough ingots to craft myself an iron helmet and a pair of iron boots. I had a much better shot at resisting incoming attacks. Now I was covered in a full set of armor.
Looking good, Zozo. I had a similar idea. I've been working on protecting the base. Check out our brand new perimeter wall.
The place looked great. Now I would rest easy knowing the base would be defended even while I was away. Plus, it provided added safety so I could survive for the full 100 days. From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was about time I tried to challenge myself again. If I was gonna use my environments to my advantage, then I couldn't limit myself to just the more familiar biomes I had visited. So I headed back towards the Crimson Forest. It looked like this place would be fairly easy to hide in. There wasn't a lot of light, and plenty of trees I could hide behind. Still, I needed some practice and finding good spots in the Crimson Forest to hide, because an iron golem was able to spot me with ease.
Hey, you know I can see you, right?
Ah, darn, I'm just trying to figure out how to survive against the Endergast.
You're that devil dragon that took out his ender creepers. I gotta hand it to you. This place has been nice and quiet since you took care of those guys. But I expect they'll start to muscle in again soon.
Why don't you come back to my base with me? That way, you'll be out of harm's way.
Say, thanks. You're all right, Mr. Devil Dragon.
Together, the Iron Golem and I headed back to base. I decided I would spruce the place up a little, so I gathered up some wool from the sheep and turned that into some fashionable decorative banners. Now we were surviving in style.
Zozo, come quick! The Endergast minions are out looking for those that have been marked.
Wait, they aren't here though. They haven't found me yet.
No, not you, the Soul Blaze. He was the last one to be marked, and he needs our help.
From day 32 to day 35, we rushed back through the Badlands to where the Fire Guardian had introduced me to the Soul Blaze. I couldn't let the Endergast get to him. He'd helped me start out on my journey.
Quick, Zozo, I see commotion up ahead.
A huge swarm of Ender Creepers were ganging up on the Soul Blaze, blocking us from getting to him.
So, the Endergast has finally found me after all this time. Couldn't run forever, I suppose.
The Ender Creepers were closing in, hissing and getting ready to explode. Before I could get close enough, there was an almighty boom, and many of them detonated, taking the Soul Blaze with them. No!
Hey, it's the other marked one, the Devil Dragon. Get him, fellas!
I had to fight back and managed to fend off the few Ender Creepers that were still left standing. But I was too late to save my friend, the Soul Blaze. From day 36 to day 39, I had to go and be on my own for a while. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't see this 100-day challenge through to the end. And even if I did, it seemed that the Endergast wasn't one to admit defeat so easily. Would this be my life now? Spending every day constantly on the run until Ender Creepers finally caught me? My thoughts were interrupted by the Hoglin.
Oi, why the long face?
Huh? It's nothing. Just thinking about some stuff.
Well, you got a minute to spare? Mate Blaze took my guitar, and I can't get it back.
Sure, but you really should say please, you know. I tried to keep my focus on the task at hand. I still had plenty of days to get through, and if I was ever going to outsmart a hunter as ruthless and unruly as the Endergast, then I needed to become a better hunter myself. I tracked down the mutant Blaze. Attacking it with fire breath probably wasn't going to end well, so instead, I snuck up a nearby hill to get the high ground, then dropped towards the mutant Blaze, scratching it up with my dragon claws and finishing it off with my sword. I gathered up the Hoglin's guitar, and he seemed to be apologetically grateful.
Cheers for your help there. Sorry I was so rude before. This guitar is all I've got to help me survive. I don't know what I'd do without it.
You're right. That's given me a fresh perspective on things. I need to hold on to what I've still got as tight as I can. That way, I'll survive the Endergast and his unfair hunt. From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base and back to my friends. They had helped me make it this far into the 100 days, so I needed to make sure I took care of them as much as they looked out for me.
Welcome back, Zozo. I hope you're feeling better after some time alone.
I am a little, but I think I'll get by with a little help from my friends.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, as we are due to have more joining us soon. I hope you don't object, but without the guidance of the Soul Blaze, my fellow Fire Guardians need a refuge, so I've urged them to come here.
Of course, the more the merrier. Say, have you been decorating in here?
Just a few small improvements.
The Fire Guardian had really been helping bring the place together with some brand new couches and bookshelves. And not a moment too soon either, seeing as his Fire Guardian buddies soon started showing up. After I had helped to greet them, the Iron Golem came up to me.
Hey, Mr. Devil Dragon.
You can call me Zozo, you know.
My bad. I've got a favor to ask. Would you go to my old place and pick up my emerald stash? I left it behind by mistake, and I'm worried I'll get seen by one of the Endergast cronies if I head back on my own.
No problem. Leave it to me. From day 44 to day 49, I ventured back to the Crimson Forest to track down the Iron Golem's emerald stash. It wasn't exactly the most challenging task I'd faced, but at least I was helping out my friends. That was the key to my survival, working together. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who'd had that idea. The Endergast came bursting out of the shadows towards me, accompanied by his toughest stooge yet, a mutant wither skeleton.
Found you again, and you aren't going to be getting away so easily this time!
You're the one who's found me so many times, but failed to stop me. Face it, you're only trying to prove what a scary hunter you are, because in reality, you're just not that good at it.
I'm an exceptional hunter, and you want to know why? Fear! If you make the creatures of this world fear you, then they'll bend to your whims. For example, let me introduce you to my friend here.
Not tough enough to take me on yourself?
Oh, you naive fool! You think you can goad me? This is all part of my game, making you grow confident, even arrogant, all so I can make you realize how futile your efforts were when I finally beat you!
With that, he slunk back into the shadows as his mutant wither skeleton started coming towards me, ready to attack. I drew my sword and leapt into battle! From day 50 to day 53, I crossed swords with the fearsome mutant wither skeleton. This was by far my toughest fight yet. With the nasty mob lacked in speed, it more than made up for in strength. I had to make sure to put some cover between me and it when the creature geared up for another heavy attack.
Oh, the little devil dragon only made it halfway. Looks like you won't be seeing day 100.
That's what you think!
Huh? Where did that come from?
I remembered to use my environment to my advantage. While I was behind cover and that mutant wither skeleton was talking, I quietly slipped around to some cover behind him. Now he was looking in the wrong place, and it meant I could get the drop on him. I launched a flame breath attack and struck the mutant wither skeleton with my flames, then charged in to deliver the final blow with my sword. He was down, defeated, but not destroyed yet.
You're tougher than I thought.
Tell me how I can defeat the Endergast.
Defeat him? You'll have to find him first. He resides in the Dover Mountains, surrounded by his most loyal and powerful hunters. You might as well take these.
As he died, the mutant wither skeleton passed me a handful of mystical diamonds. These would come in handy later, I thought, so I held on to them. From day 54 to day 57, I continued to search around the Crimson Forest and eventually found the Iron Golem's emerald stash. Unfortunately, there was a problem. A mutant husk had picked it up. So I hid and waited for it to drift past me, then leapt out, landing a powerful series of claw attacks and dealt with it in no time. I headed back to my base with the emerald stash and was finally able to return it to my friend, the Iron Golem.
Thanks, Zozo. In exchange for this favor, I'll tell you an important secret.
A secret? What do you mean?
The devil dragons! Long ago, they were considered to be the most prized prey to an aspiring hunter wanting to prove themselves. But they were so rare that hardly anyone could catch them. Only one appeared every few hundred years.
That must be why the Endergast is so interested in me. From day 58 to day 62, I worked on making some improvements to the sheep pen, giving those woolly guys a lot more space to roam around freely. But after I had done that, I remembered about those mystical diamonds I had taken from the mutant wither skeleton. I didn't have enough to craft weapons with, but I bet that if I could find some additional diamonds, I could make something pretty special with these. So that's what I did. I ventured down into the mines, and sure enough, there, embedded in the stony walls, were some shiny, untouched diamonds. I knocked them free with my pickaxe and took them back to my base. There, I combined them with the mystical diamonds to create a brand new diamond sword and pickaxe to match. They were both imbued with the magic of the mystical diamonds. It was then that the Fire Guardian came to tell me about some of the new improvements he had been making to the base while I'd been busy.
Take a look over here. I've made the living area more comfortable to accommodate everyone that's staying here at the base. And there's even a fireplace. My fellow Fire Guardians were feeling a little aimless without some fire to guard.
Wow, these are some impressive upgrades. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to have a chat with my old pal, the Evoker. Since he was a more accomplished hunter, I figured he might know something about the mountains where the Endergast's base supposedly was.
Smart call asking me. That's the mark of a hunter who's willing to learn from the experience of others. Mountains, eh? Not the nicest of places. Shame that you'll have to head over there. If you head due west from here, you'll find the path there. But watch your footing. It's a treacherous biome to be in.
I set off in the direction that the evoker had pointed me in, and before long, I found myself in the mountains. This place looked pretty desolate, even more than the Badlands or the Crimson Forest. Something about all those stony spires made it seem unforgiving. I suddenly got startled and instantly turned to face what I thought was my attacker. I was prepared to face off against some of the toughest mobs working for the Endergast, and when I saw a mutant hoglin, I thought he was after me.
Hey, take it easy, bro.
Wait, you're not here to attack me for the Endergast?
What, that jerk? No way, bro. I'm a hunter. I've been on the trail of a wild blue manticore, a fascinating but aggressive beast. You look like an aspiring hunter too. Fancy coming along to show me what you got?
Okay, let's go. But we should tread quietly. Don't want to attract too much attention.
Ah, good call. I can tell you've done this before.
From day 67 to day 70, I ventured further into the unfamiliar terrain of the mountains. The mutant hoglin hunter was a pretty good tracker and showed me some of the tracks that the blue manticore had left. I took the opportunity to get familiar with this new biome. After all, if the Endergast was hiding somewhere here, I'd need to make sure I could use the mountains to my advantage. Before long, we had found the blue manticore's lair. I took the lead, making sure I was staying nice and stealthy. Once I was at the edge of the cave, I used my flame breath to smoke out the blue manticore into the open. I leapt into action, swiping my claws at the surprised creature. The blue manticore's hide was tough to pierce with my dragon claws, but not enough for my diamond sword. My blade cut through the armored hide with ease, and I felled the beast at last.
That was some nice hunting there, Zozo. Well, happy trails. Maybe I'll see you around sometime, bro.
Huh, what an odd dude. From day 71 to day 74, I continued my exploration of the mountains, trying to figure out where the Endergast had hidden his base. This was a far more dangerous biome than the others I had visited. In some of the more elevated parts, one wrong step could lead to a nasty fall. While carefully navigating a mountain, I was sure that I saw a rock formation that seemed to spell out words. It read, "If you're enjoying this video, then be sure to watch more by searching for Zozo. Huh, must be a trick of light. Or maybe this altitude is making me lightheaded. I carefully skidded down to the foot of the mountain, only to see a familiar, frightening face waiting for me. It was the dreaded Lord Endergast.
What do you think you're doing here? These mountains are my territory. How dare you? You think you can track me here to my mountains and expect to make it out alive?
Wow, he's really mad. I didn't expect him to be so precious about the mountains. I quickly dodged out of the path of an oncoming fireball and grabbed my sword. The diamond blade caught the Endergast by surprise, and for a moment, I thought I might be able to actually get the upper hand on him. But he was still too strong, fending me off with ease as he regained his composure. I had to get out of there, and fast. It was time for another timely retreat back to the base. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and sat down in my room for a bit. I wasn't feeling too good about running away from the Endergast again. I knew it was the smartest thing I could have done in the situation, otherwise I would have been done for. But it still stung a little, knowing I hadn't beaten him.
Hey, you Zozo, don't let it get you down. Maybe seeing our brand new watchtower will lift your spirits.
While I was gone, the Iron Golem had been working on adding a watchtower to the base so we could see threats coming from afar. I had to admit, climbing up to the top, that the view really put a smile on my face, but not as much as what happened next.
Zozo, I've been looking for you. My fellow Fire Guardians and I have been working on a thank you gift for you. Here, drink this potion.
I took the magical upgrade potion and suddenly felt myself getting much stronger. Wow, I now had a whole 100 hearts. And to make things even better, I had improved my fireball attack into a mighty dragon fireball attack. Now I was really living up to my devil dragon name. From day 79 to day 84, feeling more confident and much more powerful, I decided to head back towards the mountains to confront the Endergast. But when I made it back to the spot where we had last clashed, he was nowhere to be found. I did have a run-in with a fire ogre. There were so many different mobs in the mountains that this biome was almost like a whole other world. I quickly learned that fire ogres were resistant to my dragon fireball attack, but it didn't fare as well against my sword and the forces of gravity. After I defeated the fire ogre, I searched their lair for any interesting loot and stumbled upon an imprisoned black kitty.
Oh, thank you. That horrid ogre wanted to eat me. Please get me out of here, and I'll show you where they keep their most prized possession.
I helped out the kitty, and to say thank you, she gave me a diamond helmet from the ogre's private treasure stash. Wow, this is great! I've been in need of a new helmet. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back when, to my horror, I was met with the awful sight of a group of ender creepers attacking my base! Hey, get the heck out of here! Scram!
Look out, boys! It's the Devil Dragon!
I rushed after them, quickly checking to see if my friends were okay. To my relief, nobody was seriously injured, although our poor base had seen better days. I remembered my experiences as a hunter and followed the trail of the ender creepers. I made sure to use all of my environment to my advantage, including asking a passing darkness ostrich if he'd seen those creepers.
Yeah, you just missed them. They were heading that way. Take them out. Last thing we want is Endergas goons roaming these badlands.
I caught up with the ender creepers and wasted no time launching a huge dragon fireball attack. But then it hit me. They were heading back towards the mountains. I could use this to my advantage too. These ender creepers could lead me to the Endergas base. From day 90 to day 94, I kept up with the ender creepers as they fled back to their boss, the Endergast. Sure enough, keeping on their trail led me right to the Endergast hidden base in the heart of the mountains. I leapt in to finish off the last of the gas creeper cronies. I had to make sure they didn't reveal my base's location. But before I could even think about what to do next, a huge two-headed nether ogre came stomping out of the base towards me.
So you're the Devil Dragon? You don't look so tough. The boss says it's time to end this game. For good.
This two-headed nether ogre looked like he wouldn't go down easy. I was in for my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed with the two-headed nether ogre. It wasn't an easy fight at all. The ogre was one tough customer. He swung at me, and I had to duck out of the way. Even with my new helmet, he could have knocked my block off. I blasted him with a dragon fireball attack and followed it up with relentless slashes of my sword. There was no way to use my surroundings to help. I just had to keep up the attack. And luckily, it finally seemed to work. A well-timed fireball knocked the two-headed nether ogre off his feet, and he came toppling over with a loud thud.
Ah, dang it! The boss is gonna be so angry with me.
Why even work for an Endergast in the first place? You're a tough guy. I'm sure even you can't possibly be scared of him.
I got no choice. I was mocked once in his 100 days hunting game. I lasted as long as I could, but he caught up to me in the end. Because I'd impressed him, he forced me to be his henchman for 100 years.
So he could trap me like that too. Man, this guy really is a jerk.
You said it, pal.
With that, the two-headed nether ogre passed on. I had to double back to my base as quick as possible and make sure everything was okay. On day 98, I made the journey back to my base and assessed some of the damage the ender creepers had left in their attack. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad all things considered. Most of the damage was taken by the perimeter wall, and that's what it was there for. Look guys, I need to stop the Endergast once and for all. If I don't act now, then there's a chance he won't ever let me go. You've all helped me get this far, so thank you very much. First, the Fire Guardian came to say goodbye.
The Fire Guardians have your back, Zozo. We will defend all you've built here while you go forth. The Soul Blaze would be proud of you.
Then, the Iron Golem.
Well, Mr. Devil Dragon, you gave me a place to stay out of harm's way, and I'm grateful for that. That's way nicer than the Endergast or his cronies have ever been to me. So I say, go kick their butts.
And finally, the Evoker.
You've become a mighty fine hunter, Zozo. You've listened to all my advice, and there's nothing more I can teach you. Just follow your instincts, and you'll prevail.
With that, I headed off to finally end my 100 days for good. On day 99, I retraced my steps and found myself back where I wanted to be, right outside the Endergast base. He must have realized I took down his two-headed nether ogre because the place was swarming with ender creepers. Just as I was trying to get the drop on them, a familiar face snuck up on me. It was the mutant Hoglin.
Don't overwork yourself, bro. I'll handle these clowns. Slip inside while they're distracted.
Thanks, Mutant Hoglin. Now I could sneak into the base undetected. This was it! On day 100, I reached the top of the enemy's base and came face to face once again with the Endergast. He had been expecting me, but he wasn't too pleased that I'd made it this far.
You again? You really don't give up. Well, since you survived up to day 100, maybe I could find use for you. After all, you did just take down my last top henchman.
No chance. I'm here to put an end to this game once and for all.
Let's see about that, shall we? There's only one way this game ends. My way!
And before any more words could be exchanged, the battle began! I had to use all my strength and experience to take on the Enderghast. I thought quick on my feet of a way to destroy him. I tried a few times, hitting the Enderghast in the head with my fireballs and dealing some damage, but it had also angered him a lot. He let out a spew of fireballs, and I had to quickly get the heck out of the way. He flew down to get closer to me, and that made him vulnerable. Moving quickly, I used my claw attacks, then showed up with my mystical diamond sword. Then, as he fired his last fireball at me, I deflected it and sent it back his way, finishing him off for good measure. It worked! I had finished it! The Enderghast was defeated, and his ruthless hunt was over. I had survived the whole 100 days. On day 1, I spawned in and ate my way out of a giant pumpkin as a fat dragon with 10 hearts. It looks like I'm way chunkier than the average dragon. It's okay though, because it's what's on the inside that counts. But my thoughts were interrupted by a huge fireball hitting the ground next to me. I managed to dodge it just in time and looked up to see a huge fire dragon floating in the sky above me.
Sup, Tubby? What are you doing on my turf? You know this is Chad's place. Who? Chad's the best.
Hey, don't call me mean names. And who's this Chad guy?
I'm Chad, and I rule. And when I'm flying around here, taking selfies for my red-hot fire dragon Insta, I don't want your goofy butt sitting in my background, killing my vibe.
But, you can't just call me names and kick me out.
Yeah I can. I'm Chad the fire dragon. I'm number 1. You aren't the first loser I've chased out of here, and you won't be the last, baby. It's fire time!
Chad the fire dragon blasted another fireball at me. I dodged again in the nick of time and flapped my wings, flying off into the air and escaping Chad's fire.
Yeah, that's right. You better run. Nobody messes with Chad. Ugh.
When I'd escaped Chad, I landed for a bit to breathe and calm myself down. That guy was a major jerk. Why would you be mean to someone just because of what they look like? He must be evil. My thoughts were interrupted by a big angry dread beast who thought I looked like a filling snack. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. All I could do was fly off before the dread beast pounced at me. This world doesn't seem too kind. I need to make things better around here before everyone hates on each other. On day 2, I landed somewhere that looked a little safer. At least here, nobody would start attacking me for no reason. I need a roof over my head before I can do anything else. Maybe it's time to build myself a fat dragon base. I used some of my natural dragon strength to break down a few trees. It wasn't long before I had enough wood to make myself a wooden pickaxe and a crafting table. Then I used my wooden pickaxe to dig up some stone and create a stone sword and a stone pickaxe. This is exactly what I need to build a base. But first, I need to get myself a sweet treat. I've had a hard couple of days. I've earned it. I flew off to a nearby area and found a delicious looking cake just laying around. The perfect treat. But then, a dread ghoul jumped out of the shadows and started laughing.
My fiendish plan worked. I knew that a cake would attract a perfect fat little victim, and I was right.
Oh, come on! Why is everyone here so judgmental?
It's the way of the world, fat dragon. And now you've fallen for my trap. You're all mine.
But before the dread ghoul could pounce, I flew away again, all the way back to my base to enjoy my cake. Wait, I got so distracted by the cake that I didn't even start my base. When I landed, I used my stone pickaxe and collected more resources and started building myself a basic base. At least it would give me somewhere to stay at the end of the day. I should work on a kitchen next. On day 3, I decided that I needed to make my base a little bigger. I wasn't the tiniest dragon out there after all, and I needed the base to be roomy to be comfortable in it. So I flew off to a new location to collect more resources. Of course, it wasn't going to be as easy as I'd hoped, because nothing seems to be easy around here. The second I landed, there was an angry-looking dread knight waiting for me.
Avest! Thou art a hefty dragon, forsooth! Alack, 'tis a battle! A battle, good sir.
I literally don't understand anything you're saying, but I still feel like you're being mean to me.
Thou art correct. Battle me, knave.
I was really upset about being called mean names again. Probably. So this time, I was ready to engage in battle. I attacked him with my stone sword until the Dread Knight gave up and moved away.
Thou doth won this time, dragon, but next time I will have my revenge, forsooth.
Stop saying forsooth. It doesn't make you sound cool or smart. It's just weird. With that, the Dread Knight ran away. Moments later, a different figure emerged, a big black hippogriff. Oh no, are you gonna say mean things about my weight too?
What? Heavens no! I'd never dream of judging someone based on their appearance. That's a total Chad the Dragon move. I'm Buck the Hippogriff.
Wait, Chad the Dragon? You know that guy?
Huh, I wish I didn't. He's so conceited. If he was made of cake, he'd probably eat himself. Talk about a selfish meanie.
Oh, speaking of cake, I have some back in my base. Come join me, we can share it together. I'm Zozo, by the way.
Finally, someone kind around here. You seem hungry already. I'll let you have some of my fish. And let's go, Zozo.
I'd made my first friend, and we started back to my base. Things were finally looking up for me. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with Buck the Hippogriff. It felt nice to have someone who was so kind in a world that had been so mean to me. Let's build you a room, Buck. Something that really suits your awesome personality.
You're too kind, Zozo.
You were kind to me first. This is just me getting even. I started expanding my base, creating a nice new room for Buck to stay in. I even made it with an open roof so he could fly out and explore anytime he wanted.
This is an awesome room, Zozo. I'm so happy that I met you. You're the coolest fat dragon I've ever seen.
You're doing a lot to help boost my confidence, Buck. I love it. But our wholesome friendship moment was interrupted by a bunch of death worms slithering out of the ground towards me. Oh no, I need to do something about this before it ruins my whole base. I ran in and started battling the death worms. Lucky for me, in the battle of worms versus dragons, dragons normally win, and this was no exception. And once the worms were defeated, they dropped some delicious apples onto the ground. Huh, apples and worms. It doesn't normally go that way around. I stashed the apples into my inventory and went back to my base, where Buck the Hippogriff and I could hang out. With the death worms taken care of, I could work on expanding and improving my base. Yes. First, I need to make sure I have a fixed source of food, breakfast especially. I'd love some eggs. That's why I built a coop and some fences, then collected a few chickens and let them live inside. Free range, of course, because that's the kindest way to do it. It'll make the eggs taste better too. But while I was out searching for more chickens to add to my teeny tiny chicken farm, I saw the last thing I ever wanted to see, Chad the Fire Dragon. He was flying right above me, looking just as mean and arrogant as ever.
Ugh, what are you doing here, Chubby? Didn't the Chadmeister tell you that you need to get off the overworld? Maybe go to the Nether. That's where all the other weird, ugly beasts hang out. Nice one, Chad.
You can't nice one your own joke, Chad. It doesn't work like that.
Chad can do anything that Chad likes. He's the best. I mean, I'm the best. Whatever. Look at what I can do.
Suddenly, Chad started growing even bigger and stronger than before. He made even his old self look small. Oh no, you're so huge. How?
I've been getting some extra reps in at the gym. It's making me real swole. You'd know this if you followed my fire Insta. Like I said, instead, you're gonna deal with my fire. Fire!
Chad blasted an even bigger fireball at me. There was no way I could fight him like this. I needed to just get out of here. I flew off as fast as I could, just hoping that Chad wouldn't follow me. Getting rid of him was going to be a lot harder than I thought. From day 9 to day 10, I sat in my room at my base, feeling terrible about all the things Chad said to me and how much stronger he was than me. How can I ever expect to stop him from being so horrible to everyone if I can't even stop him from being horrible to me? Buck the Hippogriff seemed to sense that I was upset and came in to comfort me.
Zozo, I'm so sorry about all those terrible things that Chad said to you. For what it's worth, he's only like that because deep down, he's so insecure about himself. He wishes he had the kind of confidence you have.
Those are kind words, Buck, and they do make me feel a little better. I just feel bad that I wasn't able to defeat him.
Maybe what you need is a little inspiration. Go look out into the yard and see a little something I've been working on for you.
I ran outside and saw that Buck had been working on a statue. It looked incredible, but it was early enough that I couldn't quite tell what it was yet. Wow, this is amazing. What do you think it's gonna be when it's done? Let me know down in the comments. Buck came up to me again. Amazing work, Buck. I love the statue. What's it going to be?
I couldn't give that away. And besides, there's something else you should see. I built you a base upgrade.
I looked back at my base and saw that Buck had built me a storage room. The perfect place to store all of our weapons and supplies. Buck, you're the best friend I've ever had. From day 11 to day 12, I decided it was time to rest and recover from the stressful last few days. After all, it's important to take care of yourself and take time off now and then. But while I was sleeping, I started having the strangest dreams. I dreamed of how Chad the Fire Dragon was first created. He crawled out of lava, deep underground, a dragon of pure fire.
Whoa, I'm a dragon of pure fire. This is crazy. I think I'm gonna call myself Chad. Yeah, that feels like a good name for me.
But everyone was afraid of Chad because he was so big and so dangerous because of his fire powers. Chad felt bad about everyone being afraid of him, so to cover up how bad he felt, he decided to pretend he was confident in a completely over-the-top way.
The Chadster's #1! Huh.
But because Chad's confidence wasn't real, he could only protect it one way, by being mean to others, putting them down to make himself feel better.
Everyone is dumb and ugly except me. Oh yeah, Chad is awesome, and I'm Chad, baby.
Chad developed such a reputation for being rude and mean, nobody would tell him to stop. And as the years went on, he only got more powerful. Needless to say, it was a really weird dream, but I definitely felt like I knew more about Chad afterwards. I just wish I knew how I could use it against him. From day 13 to day 15, I decided I needed to settle a few old scores to improve my confidence. This fat dragon was through with running away. That's why I flew back to where it all started, to face the dread beast that thought I was an easy snack. Now I was going to show him that fighting me was going to be anything but easy. I landed right next to the dread beast, ready to battle, with the stone sword at the ready. Let's go, dread beast. We'll see who's really feeling the dread when I'm done. The dread beast ran at me, but I didn't budge. I fought back. And this time, I won! And with the XP I got from winning, I leveled up into a bigger, tougher, fatter dragon! Chad is gonna think twice about messing with me now. I've got an entire 30 hearts and a brand new weapon, Dragon Claws. I took to the skies, happier than I'd felt in a long time. From day 16 to day 19, feeling encouraged by all my progress lately, I decided it was time to treat myself to a gear upgrade. I found a nearby mine and went underground, digging until I found some iron ore. Perfect! This is exactly what I needed! But I wasn't alone in the mine, because the perfect opposite of a fat dragon was down there waiting for me. A bunch of human skeletons! At least they don't have enough tongue to make any mean jokes about me. I defeated the skeletons, then used my iron ore to smelt and craft an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Looks like my fighting and mining skills have just leveled up. Chad is gonna feel so jealous about this when he finds out. With all my new gear, I went back to my base, feeling better than ever. From day 20 to day 22, I was rudely awakened by Buck storming into the room.
Zozo! Zozo! You need to wake up right now! Something terrible is happening!
Terrible? Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Quite the opposite, actually. It's terrible. Chad the Fire Dragon is waiting for you outside. I think he wants to fight.
I got up and ran outside as quickly as I could. And just like Buck had told me, Chad the Fire Dragon was waiting.
Hey, jabroni, it's the Chadmeister, Chadageddon, the Central African nation of Chad. And as usual, I'm happy to hand you a big steaming plate of humiliation, baby.
You may be a fire dragon, Chad, but I think you're just full of hot air. Are you really saying all this stuff about yourself because you believe it, or because you want to believe it?
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Big Tubby Head Shrinker. You think you understand the Chadster's brain? The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. You could never even hope to understand what I'm about, and I'm actually super duper confident. You're just way too much of a loser to get that.
Sounds like you're not that sure of yourself.
I so am! Let's fight, doofus!
We charged at each other and began battling. He blew fire at me, but with my new strength since our last battle, I was able to take the heat. That's when I showed him my new claws, swiping at him again and again. He seemed so shocked that I was really fighting back that he broke away from the fight and started to fly off.
I didn't really want to fight you that time anyway. Smell you later, fat dragon!
It wasn't exactly a true victory, but I'd seen the first crack in Chad's confidence. Maybe I can beat him after all. From day 23 to day 26, I decided that I needed to treat myself to a new enchantment for all my hard work, surviving my first true fight with Chad. Given how much he'd helped me so far, I asked Buck what he thought I should do.
Seeing as you got yourself an iron sword a while back, maybe you should apply the sharpness enchantment. Who knows? It might even make your claws more powerful.
That's a great idea, Buck. You're always looking out for me. On Buck's suggestion, I crafted and applied the sharpness enchantment. All my weapons were a lot more effective after that. From day 27 to day 31, I got more good news from Buck.
Zozo, come take a look. I've been doing some more work on the statue, and I think you're going to love it.
Ah, that's so exciting! I can't wait to see! I ran out and took a look at the statue. It wasn't done yet, but it was coming along so well. Buck really had a gift for making statues. This looks amazing, Buck. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done.
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about, Zozo. The statue is coming along great, but it needs something else. Think you can go get some for me?
No problem, Buck. I'll set off immediately. Buck told me what he needed and sent me off to the west. I headed out with my iron pickaxe, ready to mine like my life depended on it. It didn't take me long to find the blocks that Buck needed, but there was a wither there waiting for me. Nothing is ever easy around here. I took a few wither skulls, but soon managed to use my claws to turn the tide of the battle. Once the wither was gone, I mined the blocks and went back to my base. Buck was waiting for me. Here, Buck, take these.
Thanks, Zozo. This is exactly what I needed.
From day 32 to day 35, I went out exploring again, wanting to increase my strength and confidence. If there were any quests for me to take, I'd be happy to take them. But my confidence was shaken a little by a huge creeper spider suddenly skittering towards me. This is not how I wanted to spend today. I ran away as the creeper spider exploded, taking out a bunch of blocks beneath it, but thankfully not me. Creepers are one of those problems that take care of themselves. While I was wandering around the explosion-scarred area, I saw another strange creature, a rabbit wolf, hopping around and looking worried. Are you okay, Miss Rabbit Wolf?
The truth is, no! Things are awful right now.
Awful? Oh no! What happened? Is there any way I could help?
My friend, the rabbit, was kidnapped by the Crimson Phantom. He's a local weirdo who thinks he's a supervillain. And if we don't save the rabbit soon, who knows what will happen?
We'll never have to find out. Wait here, I'm gonna go save your rabbit friend. And with that, I flew off, ready to become a hero. From day 36 to day 39, I arrived at the location where the wannabe supervillain, the Crimson Phantom, was holding the rabbit. He was every bit as weird as the wolf rabbit had told me.
It is I, the Crimson Phantom, the Lord of Darkness. I am the most powerful and evil villain in the overworld, and nothing will stop me from taking control. I'm #1.
But isn't Chad the fire dragon #1?
Oh no, Chad, is he here?
No, he's not here. I was just talking figuratively.
Phew, that's a relief. Almost lost my cool there.
Hearing all of that gave me an idea. The Crimson Phantom may not be afraid of me, but he was definitely afraid of our mutual enemy, Chad the Fire Dragon. Maybe Chad can be useful for once. From day 40 to day 43, I flew out towards the Crimson Phantom and the captured rabbit, trying to look as intimidating as possible. Both of them turned to look at me as I approached.
Begone, fat dragon, for I am the Crimson Phantom, the vilest villain in all of the overworld, and this rabbit belongs to me.
Fool! I work for his Chadness, Chad the Fire Dragon, and he is extremely displeased that you're out here tarnishing his rad name.
Oh no, please tell his Chadness I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any offense. I'll do whatever he wants, I promise.
You'll give up the rabbit and let her go. His Chadness requests your presence.
Of course, Wait, Fat Dragon? Chad's been making fun of you on his Dragon Insta for weeks now. You're not with him, you're trying to trick me.
You can't blame me for trying. With my plan foiled, I attacked the Crimson Phantom with my powerful claws. Despite all his bragging, he was one of the easiest enemies I'd ever defeated.
You saved me. Thank you so much. I was worried I'd never get away from that awful villain.
Don't thank me, Rabbit. You've got a friend who cares a lot about you. As if on cue, the Rabbit Wolf hopped in.
Thank you for all you've done, Zozo. Here, take this potion of swiftness. It's the least I could do. You're a true hero.
Oh, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. From day 44 to day 49, I gave more materials to Buck the Black Hippogriff so he could continue work on the statue.
Great job, Zozo! You're really pulling your weight with this project.
I'll take that as a compliment, considering how much my weight is.
I mean it, buddy. You're a kind and reliable person. Anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks, Buck. Now I feel like $1,000,000.
There's only one me, Zozo. Just like there's only one you.
That's deep, but you knew what I meant. I let Buck continue working on the statue and realized that I was hungry. After all the quests I'd been doing, I had really worked up an appetite. It was time to add something to the base in order to help out with that. A proper kitchen. I'd craft a couple of cooking surfaces and shelves to store ingredients. That way, I'd be able to make the most nutritious meals when I was in the mood for food. It's like they always say, never trust a skinny cook and always trust a fat dragon cook. Once I had completed the kitchen, I went back to see how Buck was doing on the statue. It was starting to look even more like what it was supposed to be. I couldn't wait to see how it would look when it was done. From day 50 to day 53, I was minding my own business at the base when Chad the fire dragon decided to rear his big, overinflated head.
Oh, hey, Chapster. Still your lame roly-poly self, I see. Lucky for you, the Chadmeister decided to take some time out of his busy Insta schedule to instigate a little one-on-one conflict.
Leave me alone already, Chad. I'll fight if I have to, but I didn't wake up this morning choosing violence.
Too bad, because Chad the Cool and Rad always chooses to dunk on losers. By the way, when I said one-on-one, I meant one-on-several, because I've brought my fans with me.
It was true. Chad had rolled up with a bunch of fire guardians who listened to everything he said. They must have been followers by nature. How is it fair to outnumber me, Chad? At least fight your own battles if you're gonna be a bully.
Well, sorry. There's so much of you to go around that I thought I should bring more guys. Get up, boys.
Chad's fire guardians tried to gang up on me, but I was a fighter now, so I shredded through them with my claws. I was so focused on the fight that I almost didn't see Chad and the other guardians kidnap Buck from the base.
Zozo, win that fight and come save me. I know you can.
Buck, how low does Chad want to go in order to ruin my life? I took down the rest of the attacking fire guardians like Buck said, and I felt my confidence rising. I grew larger and obtained 60 hearts. I could also breathe out a big blast of fire. Looks like Chad isn't the only one with fire around here. With that, I also set the front yard on fire. From day 54 to day 57, I spent some time putting out the fires left over from the attack on the base. They sure did set a big part of my base on fire, but it didn't bother me that much because I could easily extinguish it. Once I had extinguished the fire, I thought about the one thing I couldn't repair. I need to get Buck back. He always stuck up for me, so I want to do the same for him. I went to the desert to go visit Miss Rabbit Wolf. I knew a thing or two about friendship. And because I helped her rescue her friend not too long ago, she would probably help me rescue mine.
I'm so sorry that Buck got taken away by Chad's henchmen. I know exactly how that feels.
I want to do something about it, but I don't know where to begin.
Why don't you try checking the selfies that Chad posts? There's got to be something in the background that could help you find out where he's taken Buck.
That's a good idea. He posts pictures of where he is all the time. It should be easy to find his evil lair from that.
You can turn his false confidence into a real weakness.
Thanks, Rabbit Wolf. From day 58 to day 62, I went mining for diamonds so I could upgrade my tools. I'm a confident dragon, and I deserve to treat myself to nicer things. Of course, not everyone in the mine agreed with me on that point. There were a bunch of warped phantoms swarming around where I was trying to dig. I could use my fire breath to scatter them, but they'd always come back. This seems like more of a task for my claws. Can't a dragon mine in peace? Once I had cleared out all the warped phantoms, I was able to gather a good amount of diamonds from the cave. I crafted a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe, both of which would come in handy when the time came for me to go rescue Buck from the clutches of Chad. From day 63 to day 66, I was looking at the unfinished statue and feeling sad that Buck couldn't be here. The two of us had been working together on the statue for a long time now, and seeing that it was unfinished was a reminder that without him, I'd never see what the statue could become. I thought about working on it myself, but that wouldn't do any good. Buck is counting on me to rescue him from Chad. I couldn't back down from facing that terrible bully. For now, the statue needs to wait. Hang on, Buck. I'm gonna find you, wherever you are. And if you want to find more of my awesome adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you'll always be able to. From day 67 to day 70, I found a place that looked a lot like where Chad the Fire Dragon took many of his selfies. The Crimson Gardens were definitely red, like one might expect for a fire dragon, and there also seemed to be a huge lair designed to show off. That's gotta be Chad's pad. As I approached, I noticed that there were a bunch of fire guardians hanging around outside. My guess had to be correct, since those mobs would do anything for Chad's attention, including trying to keep me out of Chad's pad. I knew I was looking at a fight if I tried to get past them. Hey, you guys, is my friend inside there? The Fire Guardian said nothing and charged me all at once. I knew Fire Breath wouldn't do any good against creatures of pure fire, so I stuck to melee attacks. Thanks to my increased health, even fighting this many Fire Guardians wasn't much of a problem. It was true that I'd gotten even bigger and stronger since my other fight with Chad's minions. I'm not just fat, I'm large and in charge. I was able to battle my way through the inside of Chad's pad. I just knew my friend was in here somewhere. From day 71 to day 74, I explored Chad's pad and fought off more of the Fire Guardians as I did. This base is gigantic. Chad must really enjoy having a lot of space that he doesn't need, all to himself. While I was sneaking around, I saw Chad. He must have been finished taking selfies in a nearby room. Oh yeah, Chad rules! The camera loves Chad, and so does everyone else. And Chad! He seemed to be really into his routine at the moment, and it felt awkward to interrupt him. I came here to rescue Buck, not to pick a fight, so I just let him continue bigging himself up. Of course, I couldn't help myself from sneaking some potions of healing from one of his pad's chests. He won't miss it, and besides, he's hurt me enough times that one little potion is the least of what he'd need to do to make up for it. From day 75 to day 78, I managed to find the dungeon where Chad had been keeping Buck. It was time for a good old-fashioned prison break.
Zozo, you made it! I always knew you had it in you, friend.
Thanks, Buck. It was hard making it all the way here without your kind words, but I was still able to do it because I've got confidence in myself now. I used my fire breath to destroy the bars of the prison, setting Buck free.
Nicely done. Now let's get out of here.
Whoa! Who said you could leave? Chad didn't, and if Chad didn't, it doesn't matter who did.
Chad.
Oh no, it was Chad! There was only one thing I could think of to make sure that Buck would be safe from this kidnapping bully jerk. Get out of here, Buck. I'll catch up with you after Chad and I have a talk. With that, Buck ran off, leaving me alone to take on Chad.
Like Chad would talk to you for any reason other than reminding you that you're totally stupid looking.
Actually, I meant talk as in fight. Let's work things out like dragons with our claws and fire breath.
Can't get enough of Chad's fire breath? Okay, you asked for it.
Chad breathed his fire blast at me, but I returned with my own. He was surprised that I could do what he did, but that made sense because he always underestimated me. We started to fight with our claws, and even more than the previous time I was holding my own. I got several good hits in on him before he started to show a little bit of nervousness. What's the matter, Chad? Not able to pretend as well as you normally do?
As if Chad needs to pretend. I'm the real deal, lame-o. Check this out.
From day 79 to day 84, Chad flexed his dragon muscles and totally hulked out into a super beast of a dragon.
Oh yeah, Chad was already the best, but now you can say hello to the even better, super mega ultra deluxe Chadmeister Supreme.
Yikes! I didn't expect he'd have another form.
Chad totally could have beaten you in his regular form. Chad just didn't feel like it.
Right, so you transformed for absolutely no reason at all. I'm really not sure I believe you, but I'm also really afraid of your new form. I ran away as fast as I could. Behind me, I could hear Chad laughing and calling me more mean names. We would see who would be laughing the next time we met, but this time it was definitely Chad who would be laughing. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to base and found that Buck had already made his way back there before me. I was really glad to see him home. The base had not felt the same without him.
Did I miss anything, Zozo? I was gone for a long time at Chad's pad. That fire dragon was so annoying and talking about himself the whole time. I'm really glad to be back.
I'm glad to hear it, Buck. Sorry you had to go through all that.
It wasn't all bad. I did manage to swipe some relaxation supplies from Chad's relaxation room. I bet we could turn these into a room of our own.
That sounds awesome. I love relaxation. I got to work on upgrading the base with a brand new relaxation room, while Buck chose to make up for lost time and work on the base's statue. I made sure to put all the right details into the relaxation room, including lots of couches for Buck and I to lounge around on. I bet both of us will really appreciate the work I've done on this room after Buck is done putting together that statue. When I was done with the relaxation room, I went to see the statue and found that it looked absolutely incredible. It was only a statue of me, but I never looked at myself so proudly before.
Remember how you feel about yourself at this moment, Zozo. That confidence in who you are, recognizing your own best qualities, is the key to defeating Chad.
I did almost have him last time, but he's got this new super duper form now, and I think he's gonna knock me out the next time I see him.
In that case, you just take what you already like about yourself and make it even more powerful. There's a spell you can cast that will bring your inner strength to the surface.
Show him who you really are!
From day 90 to day 94, I sought out the Book of Spells, which was said to contain a spell that would bring my inner strength to the surface. It was located inside of a deep cave that was full of wither spiders. There was a time not so long ago that I wouldn't have dared to fight for myself, especially against such powerful mobs. But if what Buck said about this spell was true, then I couldn't wait to get my inner strength on. I'm becoming more like who I want to be every single day, and there's nothing that some bully can say that would make me feel like I'm less than that. The wither spiders had powerful attacks and could shoot deadly wither skulls, but with my chubby body and huge amount of hearts, I could withstand equally huge amounts of damage. Big is beautiful! I burned the spiders away with my fire breath and found my way to the Book of Spells. This must be the right one. I'll read it when I get back home. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at base, preparing for my showdown with Chad. I was determined to use everything that I had in order to win this fight and overcome that bully once and for all. I knew that I'd be having the fight at his place, so instead of doing any sort of upgrades on my base, I focused on what I would need to do to fight at my best. Potions are the way to go. I can drink a lot of those at once to give myself an advantage. First up was a standard potion of strength to increase the damage of my claws attacks. Second, I chose a potion of regeneration so I could get even more use out of my high amount of hearts. And the third potion that I picked was a potion of fire resistance. Chad is always bragging about his fire, but this should take the heat off of me. On day 98, I decided to relax so that I wouldn't stress out too much about the impending fight I was going to have with Chad. I couldn't let him get into my head, so I made sure to fill my brain with fun and positive feelings. And if you want to feel fun and positive too, you should type ZOZO into the search bar so you can find more of my videos. Also, while it's just us relaxing, go ahead and leave a comment about what I should be next. On day 99, it was time to settle my score with Chad once and for all time. I walked through the Crimson Gardens and straight inside Chad's pad. That mean and nasty fire dragon himself was lying in wait, and he was still in his tricked out new form.
Back for more, you little dragon tender? Chad is better than Chad has ever been. This new form is totally awesome, and definitely better than anything you could do.
I now understand why you decided to take that form, Chad.
'Cause I'm a beast like that?
No, it's because you have something to prove. You may have scared everybody else, but I was able to rattle that fake confidence of yours. You're the one who is actually scared, Chad.
What? No, you don't know what you're talking about. Chad is the man, or the dragon man. Actually, I'm just a dragon.
Yes, and I'm just a fat dragon who's got inner strength. I downed my potions and used the Book of Spells to cast the spell of power and unleash my inner strength. My heart rose to 100, and I now had a mighty tail slap attack. Ready to throw down, Chad.
Chad is having second thoughts. I mean, now Chad's the best. Chad will take you out in any form, Tubbo.
The fight began, and I whipped him with my new tail slap. He tried his fire breath, of course, but I was resistant. Your fire can't hurt me anymore, and neither can your words. I gave him serious claw strikes and even more tail slaps. Then I unleashed my own fire breath.
No way. You can't be fire. Chad is fire. Chad is fire as fire.
Not anymore. Then I tail slapped Chad one more time, and he was done bothering me. On day 100, I was once again relaxing at the base with Buck the Black Hippogriff. Chad won't bother me or anyone again. I really taught him a lesson.
You sure did stand up for yourself, Zozo. And you never let anyone tell you who you should be or how you should look.
You said it, Buck. I'm the best at being me, and that's what counts more than anything else.